Larger, come get inspired. Larger, feel like a star. Larger, here we're all equal. Larger, still take you far. Larger, get the legs faster. Larger, come have some fun. Larger, he's the one. Larger, you know where to come.
Hey, Curvies, thanks for coming through. I'm going to play this one more time. Give the people a minute to come on in. Let's do it again.
Larger, come get inspired. Larger, feel like a star. Larger, here we're all equal. Larger, still take you far. Larger, get the legs faster. Larger, come have some fun. Larger, he's the one. Larger, you know where to come.
Hey, Curvies, what's good? What is good? Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Thanks for coming through. I didn't even wait for this to finish hydroing. This is that ionizer thing, I was telling you about. Look, looks like a lava lamp. I need to leave a link for this. So this is one of those ionizer hydronizers for your water. Yeah. And you need a life straw. Can you hear me okay? I didn't even wait for Yeah. Okay. Let's go like that a little. Okay, you guys. So I dropped the link already. Anybody that wants to come up, come up. You will have to show me your face though, because I don't want to get porn bombed. And it's Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. Almost Cinco de Mayo. And I don't know. I feel like my hair is pulling right there. So I had curled my hair and this one got wet. So I re-rodded it while it was wet because it was the only like totally straight one. It was the only totally straight one. So I decided to re-rod that so I could keep my tendrils. You guys may have seen me the other day on my TikTok. I put in 155 of these rods in different sizes. And then I took them all out and I showed you guys and I did a reveal. And then I took it with my Sinners filter where I looked like I was one of the vampires. Anyway, you guys, we have some things to talk about. Let me see if I can share this media. I can close this. I can close that. And then we can share what? Oh, cancel. I have to open it. There. So now when I say share, there's something to share. Let's see. Lots of stuff going on. I was learning about condition responses. Have you guys heard of those before? Condition response. Well, I was thinking, I was like, is this what we're going through just like to keep us conditioned to a response, right? Anyway, let me make sure this is turned up. And this is only me and me. So you can see from the thumbnail that we have a couple of things on the menu today on larger curves. Yes, we do. We're going to talk about Anna Navarro and Sir Michael Singleton over there on the interview on CNN. And the talk was around immigration. And, you know, I respect the POVs. I am not anti pro to the degree where, you know, I don't know. I don't think that people should be separated. We'll get into it. Anyway, what is going on there? We're going to talk about that. And I had some thoughts because the clip that's going around is viral because they're calling Anna Navarro racist, y'all. They're like, she made some racist remarks, Anna. Really, Anna? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then after she made her racist remarks, she's like, but I'm an ally. Okay, Anna. Okay. So we're going to look at those clips and what the question. Where's my question? Where'd my question go? Can I not do my freaking everything's? I want to show this. And I want to show this. Okay. So, what is Anna Navarro really saying with the comments that she made? We're going to delve into that. And then why would she say that and then like call the man angry and indignant, right? Then we'll talk about a little bit about Shannon Sharp because I don't care. Sorry. And then we'll talk about the thought that is Portia thoughting because the mid-season trailer dropped for Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it showed Portia at a dinner or something with Ralph asking him what parts of women does he like sniffing or something. So, hey, that's not a good look, Portia Williams, at least in my opinion. And can I still overlay this if I do this? Oh, and then it puts me down there. That's fine. I guess that's fine. What if I made it like that? 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 Oh, I see. Okay, this is good. We could do it like this. This is Restream, so we're streaming over here on the Restream. And so we're going to talk about Portia Thoughting. Is this her new brand? Is the reason she sells sheets is because she likes laying on them with other people's men? I don't know. We could talk about it. And then Angela Oakley has been doing some interviews, and people are saying that she is the breakout auntie. Um, and then we're going to talk about the reason 45 is up there in the Pope outfit is because he tweeted that picture today from his account on his social media. He tweeted this picture of him as the new Pope. I thought there was a reason for separation of church and state. We'll look at that too. So let's start first with the Anna Navarro of it all. Let's start first with that. And you guys let me know if you can hear this. Go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. If you haven't already, ring my bell. Ring my bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video and so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Oh no. And we might have to look at that. Why did Deborah Wilson go off on Aries Spears? We might. Let me put that down right here because I don't really care about Aries either. He's too much. Well, never mind. I won't even put that on the list. I don't care about Aries. Let's see. So you're gonna let me know if you can hear this when I play this.
All through 2022, in fact, you can find quote after quote saying, just stick with me, we're growing jobs, we're growing manufacturing. All presidents say, I'm running my play.
I think that's exactly the point. Joe Biden lost. Well,
he didn't even run.
Well, Joe Biden didn't even run. Actually, I think that's more to the point. And Democrats lost the election. So why on earth would Trump be repeating exactly what Joe Biden and the Democrats did that you thought was such a disaster?
In 2022, Democrats did a little better than people thought they were going to do. Actually, now in 2024,
you think that was because of the economy?
I don't know, but I'm just saying. I don't think you can make predictions today in 2025 about what's going to happen in the midterm 2026 after one quarter. And I think everybody ought to keep their pants on it. These investors and some of these people who are out criticizing over the market undulations today, if year over year, they're fine. They're not going hungry.
I'm not even talking about the stock market. I'm just talking about the cost of things that Trump might not even be able to get. And he says, just deal with it.
But we should not dismiss the stock market, and it is an important point when you look at the PCE.
Wait, you just said like 2 days ago that Americans are not investing. You were sitting right here, and you said Americans are not invested in the stock market. We shouldn't be paying that much attention to it.
No, I didn't say Americans weren't invested in the stock market.
You said a majority. You said correctly.
You
said correctly that a majority of Americans are not invested in the stock market.
About 51% of Americans.
I'm asking you about the prices that people are paying. And that Trump says, it doesn't matter right now. I just need more.
This is what I know. The economy is stable and it is resilient. You look at the PCE, those numbers showcase continued economic spend. People are still spending. It's slowing somewhat, but they're still spending. You look at employment.
Just a second. I have to reduce this so that it still plays. Because
and growth, you're still seeing strong numbers there. You look at wage growth, you're still seeing numbers strong there. Though the market has, for the past couple of days, opened up pretty low, for the most part, it's still closed in the green. You can ask anyone on Wall Street, and they'll tell you, yeah, we're kind of nervous, some stability. We want to know where this really is going. But if the president can correct this, which I believe the White House is trying, the market absolutely will rally back. This just isn't my opinion. There are experts in this every day who say exactly the same thing.
We should note that you.
Well, look, first of all, to say, what if Joe Biden had done this?
That Mr. Garcia's past doesn't matter is ludicrous.
But
we live in a sovereign nation, and this idea that people can just come into our country and do whatever the heck they want to do is absurd to me. And if Democrats want to die on this hill, I promise you'll regret it politically. So go right ahead. Go right ahead.
For America.
Go right ahead. We don't want people breaking our laws coming into our country. That is a fact.
We're not. No, that's not relevant.
It's not
No, I'm talking about Marco Rubio because Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for TPS for Venezuelans, and Marco Rubio used to be an advocate for Nicaraguans and Cubans. No, I know you're not.
This country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans
take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They're not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
That's exactly what I just said. I said there is a lot
There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said.
That's
exactly what I just said. You can act indignant. That's exactly what I just said.
let me just share Michael.
Other than the black
Anna and share Michael.
There are a lot of people from
Share Michael. I think you actually misheard.
I played that out of order. Let me actually, I didn't know. Because I wanted to hear more of what he said. Damn it. I thought this was the one. Is it this one? Yeah, so this was the precursor
analysis of this, though,
to
and a lot of average people
That.
are looking at it this way. Why is it that we can let 20 million people into the country just walk across, whatever, and there's no real process for them to do that, but then we have to individually pick out every single person and go through years upon years upon years of work and this and that and the other, and all we're trying to do is send them back to where they came from because they came here illegally in the first place. 20 million in with no process. How do you get 20 million out with years and years of people fighting every single case? You can cherry pick any case you want, but the reality is the crisis that put Donald Trump in the White House was caused over years and years and years of neglect and letting people walk into here without any process at all, and now you're trying to gum up the works to keep them here.
Yeah, let me just explain to people.
That
what
has
we're
not
talking
been
about
proven
here.
either, Scott.
Let me-
None of
yeah,
the things
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
just
said,
hold on, guys.
they
Let me
have not
just-
said so in
Let me
court.
just explain to people what we're talking about here. There are symbols on his knuckles. None of them say MS-13. However, this administration has decided that they symbolize something related to MS-13, which is disputed by a lot of people.
Disputed. It's not disputed.
I am going to move on.
What do you say about the tattoo?
I say that what Trump said yesterday was an absolute lie.
It's not.
They're
not.
Wait, are you saying the MS-13 that Donald Trump claims are legitimate tattoos on this guy are true? Are you saying the Photoshop
Are you a
is true?
tattoo truther? I mean, I don't understand.
Wait, are you a
They're on there.
Photoshop denier?
You're getting away
Come
from
on,
the issue.
They're on there.
Hold on.
So
Political analysis.
this whole discussion happened on CNN on the lady's show. Let me see, can I scroll over here? Doesn't look like I can.
The
And
pantheon of options here: kick you to the curb or send you to the United Nations. I know which one I would
Usually
get.
saying it's an SHI.
But yeah, I know you have a good idea. But
this is not the argument. So basically, Anna Navarro from The View comes over to CNN very often and adds her 2 cents. I feel a sneeze. Just a second. And adds her 2 cents. And usually, you know, like Anna Navarro, she says she's very opinionated and I don't really mind. You guys can't even see me, can you? Wait, let me change my screen location if I can. If I can, change my screen location. I need to make this a little bigger, I guess. So I can see my options. Just a second. There. So you guys will be able to see me. Let me move the chat. Hey guys. I already explained the story about how I rotted my hair. I put in 110 rods in my hair the other day. And then I took a shower and one got wet, just one. So it was straight when I got out the shower. So I decided to curl it while it's still wet. So it can at least bend like these. They're already falling, but there was only one straight one. So there was only one. Thanks for being here, Curvies. So yeah, we are going to be looking at this in its entirety, but it's really hard to get the clip. So, but you know where we can get the clip? Who had the whole clip? Somebody had the whole clip. I think I sent it to myself. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. I did drop the link if anybody wants to come up and share their thoughts on this nonsense. So Anna Navarro's over there on CNN. The immigration talk comes up, and she's very mad at this conservative Black man and him and his thoughts about immigration, and is just like, you know, really telling him. She was sitting there all like this. Look like Phaedra over there doing all those smirks. Okay. And while the man was talking and interrupted him, and then the hostess interrupted him constantly. And here, let me stop sharing that. And the hostess interrupted him constantly. So that part of the clip also became very looked for, because for some reason this lady that invites this man on Michael and never lets him finish a sentence. So Yeah, let's see. So this guy's name is Michael Singleton. Let me see. I don't want him. Is it this one?
No, I know you're not.
This country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have
Okay, yeah. So
I think
here's
a
the
lot
one
of
I'll share.
Americans-
take care of other
There's
people.
a hell of a lot of
Yeah,
people other than the black people.
Oh wait, is it this one?
In character to try to justify.
They're starting at the. Well, I already played you the precursor. So here, let's share this.
No, I know you're not.
You love my hair, Kathy. Thank you. You didn't hear about this yet? Yeah, it's a big mess. And my question is, like, why do people who become oppressed always drag in black people in our slavery? Like, it's like,
Take care of other
There's
people.
a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
There are a lot
of it.
of black people.
Thank
who are
you.
against
That's
our will.
exactly what I
They
just said.
decide
I
to
said
walk
there is
their
how
way.
are we frozen? I don't know. Let's see.
here as slaves who came to this country.
We're back, right? We didn't. When my computer does too many things, it don't like it.
It's like,
That's exactly what I just said. I said there is how.
Okay, I think it was buffering when she said that because she's not on screen. So I'm gonna fix my screen and let this play. We already heard the initial part of the conversation. We heard some of that. And now we're gonna get to when Anna Navarro and Michael Singleton actually start bumping heads. And I want you guys to really pay attention because the question down here for us is, why is Anna Navarro really saying? What is she? Did that feel like she was being racist?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today we gotta check out this clip from CNN. Abby Phillips Newsnight, Scott Jennings, and no one would even pretend to care what she thinks. This is what happens when you pack a room.
Facilitate a return so they give him some room. My point is, like, they are fighting this tooth and nail when they could really be rid of this problem by just doing it the correct way. It's a little perplexing.
It's hubris, it's arrogance, it's stubbornness of not wanting to admit error. Right? Look, many moons ago, lifetime, I was the lobbyist for the government of El Salvador. I can tell you the relationship between the U.S. and El Salvador is like that between Goliath and Amos. Okay? If the president of the United States picks up the phone and tells Bukele to send that man back, that man is coming back. But what the president and Marco Rubio are telling him is, when you get asked, say you're not sending him back because that's going to be our excuse. I think this is so stupid. I mean, it's wrong in so many ways. But, yesterday when we saw the poll numbers on the 100 days or 2 days ago, his numbers on immigration, his approval rating on immigration have gone down. They haven't gone down because of the way he's handling the border. I think most people are happy with that. They have gone down because of the lack of due process, because of the cruelty, because of the 2-year-old, the 4-year-old with cancer, U.S. citizen that was deported, because of the 20-year-old U.S. citizen young man.
Okay, I'm going to stop her right there. I think I found a good one. Let me see. And it is JD. Sue. Excuse me. Is anybody else's allergies heinous right now? Whew. Are they? Mine are heinous. And I have been cured of the allergies for a while, it felt like, but ooh. Let me see. JD. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. I don't think okay, here we go. Got it. See, I had the video up, other people's commentary, and that wasn't the one I wanted. So this. Thanks for patience. Patience is a virtue. Patience. Yeah, that was a racist comment, right? I totally felt like it was also. As soon as it populates, I will make sure this is big. It popped up. Okay. And our sound is up. Turn this all the way up. Get this up here. It's almost in Mayo.
Abrego Garcia is a member of MSNBC.
And my response,
and the answer is no, that has not happened in court. But it doesn't mean that they have not made those claims publicly. It doesn't mean that those claims are not in police reports.
In 2019,
it doesn't mean that they're not in police reports. They're just not in
2019. The immigration judge at the time believed the Prince George's County gang unit and the evidence that they presented before that judge at the time that Mr. Garcia did indeed belong to a gang. This is not with this crap. They can Google this. CBS reported on this. If a judge believes it in 2019, is it now all of a sudden not true?
Okay.
Granted him a withholding of removal.
No, I acknowledge that fact.
Which is a different issue.
Hold
on.
But the point remains that a judge found the evidence to be credible that Mr. Garcia did indeed belong to a gang. So now all of a sudden we're just not going to believe judges?
The judge,
we can't have it both ways.
I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but my only point is that the government has not presented beyond the police report. They've not actually presented the evidence to prove that he belonged to the gang.
So police reports
that's
not
all
considered evidence before a court of law?
A police report.
Do judges not consider police reports? What are we saying
But
here?
sure, Michael, what was the original? I actually want to
It is relevant to the argument from the administration, which is that Mr. Garcia belonged to a gang as one of the reasons of deporting him out of the country. But you guys say there's no truth. There's no facts. That's not true.
The Constitution is very clear. It does not say citizens. It says no person should be deprived of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness without due process. It doesn't matter what he's done in his past. The Boston bomber. Wait a minute. Let me finish. The Boston bomber had due process.
Yeah, that's a due process.
That's what this is about. I gave you time. Let me finish. Okay. This is a president who continues to twist the Constitution to adapt to whatever his vision is, to the point of the 2-year-old who was deported without due process, an American citizen. His father did not want him to go, and the only access he had to his daughter was listening to his daughter cry in the background in the 1-minute call. That 4-year-old did not get access to a doctor, despite the fact of having stage 4 cancer, did not have his medication with him when he was deported, an American citizen, to Honduras. This is what this president is doing. He is twisting the definition of the Constitution, and people like you are disparaging character to try to justify the disparity.
I'm not disparaging process. Doesn't matter.
Did we have due process?
But the idea that Mr. Garcia's past doesn't matter is ludicrous. We live in a sovereign nation, and this idea that people can just come into our country and do whatever the heck they want to do is absurd to me. And if Democrats want to die on this hill, I promise you'll regret it politically. So go right ahead. Go right ahead.
For Americans.
Go right
Dan,
ahead. We don't want people breaking our laws coming into our country. That is a fact.
Let me let Scott have a word, and we'll move on.
It seems to me that the political analysis of this, though, is, and a lot of average people are looking at it this way. Why is it that we can let 20 million people into the country just walk across, whatever, and there's no real process for them to do that, but then we have to individually pick out every single person and go through years upon years upon years of paperwork and this and that and the other, and all we're trying to do is send them back to where they came from because they came here illegally in the first place. 20 million in with no process. How do you get 20 million out with years and years of people fighting every single case? You can cherry pick any case you want. But the reality is the crisis that put Donald Trump in the White House was caused over years and years and years of neglect and letting people walk into here without any process at all. And now you're trying to gum up the works to keep them here.
A lot of them came in. A lot of them came in with parole. A lot of them came in.
CNN polling shows 54% of Americans want Mr.
November
Franco
polling
Garcia
showed
back.
Donald Trump won the
That's
election.
CNN
So
polling.
I don't, well, you know,
Public is shifting.
We are a sovereign
Guys.
nation, and you cannot enter
All
our
right.
country illegally whenever the heck. We can't do it to any other country.
Asylum is illegal, right?
If you come legally, you have to leave. Americans are tired of that. We do not have unlimited
You
resources.
know who was here
We have to
illegally
care
with a
for our own
deportation
people
order?
first.
Marco Rubio's
Okay,
grandfather.
all right, let's.
We're not talking about
Let's-
Marco Rubio.
Oh, now we're not? Now that's
No,
not relevant?
it's not
No,
relevant.
I'm
It's
talking
not
about Marco
relevant to this
Rubio because
conversation
Marco
at
Rubio
all.
used to be an advocate for TPS for Venezuelans, and Marco Rubio used
Well,
to
I'm
be
not Marco
an
Rubio.
advocate
and
for Nicaraguans and Cubans. No, I know you're
If you come into
not.
this country illegally, you are going home. Simple as
Okay.
that. We do not
Listen,
have unlimited
I
resources
think
in
a
this
lot of
country
Americans.
to take care of other
There's
people.
a hell of a
We have
lot
our
of
own
people,
people
other than the
first,
black
man.
people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They're
There's a
not
lot
the
of
same as
different-
black people who were brought here against
That's
our will.
exactly what I
They
just said.
decide
I
to
said
walk
there is
their
a
way
lot
across the
of
border.
people
There's a
other
big
than the
difference.
black
There is
people.
a big
That's
difference.
exactly what I
There's a
just
big
said.
difference.
That's
Share
exactly
Michael,
what I just
share
said,
Michael,
Sir Michael.
and-
You can act indignant. That's
Okay.
exactly what
It's
I
not
just
about
said.
acting
I
Yes, it is.
let me
You just heard me
share
say
Michael.
that's other than the black
Anna
people
and
who
share
came
Michael.
as slaves. There are a lot of people from
Share
many,
Michael. I
many
think you
countries
actually
that came
misheard
here
what she.
illegally.
I think you misheard what she said.
No, he purposely misheard.
She said.
That purposely
She-
yes,
misheard.
she did.
So now you're in my
Share
brain.
Michael. Listen to me for
Is
just a
that
second.
where we're going?
You
Share
think
Michael.
I would
Listen to me
say,
for a
I who
second.
have advocated
Anna,
for black
please
people
stop.
my entire life, would
Anna,
say something like that?
Anna,
Give me a
Because
damn
you've
break.
advocated for black
Anna,
people,
please
great.
stop.
Congratulations. Last time I checked, I'm black. You're not.
Okay, share Michael.
That's right. I'm Latino and my people are being racially
It is-
profiled.
It is.
And
And do I have to remind you the history of my people?
Share
Do
Michael.
I want to go there?
No, I
Do
don't.
you really
Okay,
want to go
we're
there?
gonna
I
go to break.
know the history of
Raul,
your
we're gonna go to
you know
break.
why?
Raul
Because
Reyes,
you
thank you
didn't
very
read
much
the
for
history.
joining us. Everybody else, hang tight.
History was not
We'll be right back.
So that was the exchange, you guys. Ooh. I just got a little goosebump. That was no bueno, as we would say. That was no bueno. Hey, the only way si se puede is if you don't conflate our enslavement with your movement. Like that's going to cause a divide. That's going to cause a racial divide. Like, what the fuck is she doing? What is Anna Navarro doing? I don't know. That really like grated me. That rubbed me the wrong way. That kind of chapped my hide there, Anna Navarro. What the fuck? Why did she say those groups of words together to make her point about immigration? I would love to know. Ooh, Emmanuel, thank you. I dropped the link, and because this is the open panel, I want to talk about it. But I have a transcript right here of what we just heard. And it says, it was May 1st episode of CNN's Newsnight with Abby Phillip, and she says, Anna Navarro, there's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people. There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves, who came to this country illegally. Can you guys help me dissect what she just said? Because I'm not so concerned with what he says. In this moment, I'm like focusing on why would Anna Navarro, in the middle of immigration and deportation of immigrants who were brought here illegally, allegedly, why would Anna Navarro say there's a hell of a lot of people other than black, after she called them angry? So you know how bozo on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was very upset, and so was Anna Marie. They were holding Garcelle responsible for the white ladies calling them angry because they didn't feel like dealing with those white people on their own. So they decide to look around and blame the nearest black person and assign responsibility for their racist experience on a black person. I'm not with it. Okay. So why would it kind of feels like that's what's happening here? She's like trying to blame enslaved African Americans, the blacks. And that's another reason. Like, do other groups of people get called like the whites, the blacks, Chinese, the Latinos, the Mexicans? I know it's like Trump says that a lot. He's all the blacks, the blacks, the blacks. And I don't know. Is the required before it? Anybody an English major? Does is the required before the word black when you're relating it to a person? The blacks, the blacks. I don't know. But why would she say this? There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally. Emmanuel, please come tell me what the hell this lady is saying. I added you to the stream. You should be popping up soon. Hey, Emmanuel. What is going on? Did you hear the whole clip?
Yes. So, okay. First of all, I'm a little sick. Sorry. So if I sound a little wonky, because
well, I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. I don't know. It's so weird, because every like the first week of May, it always happens just randomly. I don't know why. But anyway.
Interesting.
Okay. I know, right? Okay, so I watch the Abby Phillips show every night. I always DVR it and I watch it because it's like I really like Abby Phillips. She's very professional, and I don't know. I just like her show a lot, so I watch it every night. And I happened to watch that specific show live, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to stop and rewind it because, like, let's be honest. Anytime a non-black person says the words like black and this, and it's like whoa, what did you just say, especially because she was talking so fast, and then Sir Michael responded so fast, and the reaction was over the top. But this is what she meant. So Sir Michael is a damn fraud who sits on this show and bends into pretzels trying to defend this administration, even when it's things that are indefensible, even when it's topics about this administration removing Harriet Tubman from historical places, from removing important African Americans from government databases. When it comes to the economy, he's always on here defending. When okay, whatever, I get it, it's his job. So, but this night he was sitting up here talking about very passionately, if you came here illegally, you're going home. You're going home. So what Anna said was, there's a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here who are illegal. What she means by that is the people who came here as slaves were brought here against their will, right? Everybody else, other than the Native Americans and the black people, came here illegally too, because it wasn't their home to begin with. So that's what her point was. Her point was, if you're black, you were brought here against your will, and you eventually, descended from that. But those white people that came here, everyone else are immigrants too. So that's what she meant. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So she's trying to say that when they allowed like those Europeans to just ride up and get their land, that they were technically illegal too because they weren't from here.
Yeah, and maybe it would have been better if she had said that instead of saying black people came here, or whatever. But yeah, that's what she meant.
Oh, see there? Where'd my notes go? So I had, of course, asked it. No way. Where'd they go? I had, of course, asked some notes. So then she says, that's exactly what I just said. Other than the black people, there's a big difference. We're going to act indignant. That's exactly what I just said. Like, so then she started calling him angry and indignant. So that was kind of like in addition to me bringing up your people's trauma in the middle. Like I'm like, why go there? What was she? I hear what you're
Mhm.
saying, but I feel like there's a whole lot of other ways she could have expressed that. And she's a commentator and she's smart, she's brilliant, she talks for a living. So she definitely knows there's another way to have said what she said, yet she chose to not only say it, but then she got indignant with her and then trying to compare the oppression of what's currently happening to what's been happening forever to us is also why would you take that additional trauma within the same conversation and compare it further? Like, are we in a competition for trauma here?
Right,
Or
and I hate when that
you
happens.
see what I'm saying? So I'm like, and she's smart. So I feel like she did it on purpose. And now she's mad that she got caught.
Yeah, and I hate when that happens too. Like
She,
when minority groups start playing the oppression Olympics. Like, let's not do that. But I think she got mad at him for misunderstanding her point. Um, and I was seeing a lot of comments from people who were saying, "Oh, now all of a sudden he cares about history and all of this." And I don't know. Maybe she got upset because he said, "I'm black, you're not," which it's true, but I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, well, I mean, but all of that, I'm black and you're not, came like way after she was obviously worked up. Like, she was obviously worked up. And I'm like, lady, calm down. And then yeah, it was just a lot. I was like, Anna, you went too far and an apology was due. But then that hostess also, so did she always invite him on and then cut him off? Like,
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because even before this exchange, I was already mad at him for snapping at Abby, who I love. Um, he was so rude, and I get it. He was mad he was being interrupted, but this is the CNN nightcap with Abby Phillip. So this is her show, and it is her responsibility to fact check. So that's the thing. She just can't allow so she has people there to give their opinion, which is awesome, different perspectives, whatever. But if somebody says gives a piece of information that is not accurate, she has to stop them and correct it. So he was already worked up because of that. I don't know.
mhm,
But Kurz, you want to know what bothered me the most?
yeah,
If we can be honest.
for
Here we
sure.
have a Hispanic woman and a black man going at it, screaming at each other. Meanwhile, there's Scott Jennings, the very white, the very Republican guy, just sitting there watching, probably living off of this. That's what I hated.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like they love to see it. It's entertainment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And entertainment, but I feel like, hey, I just don't know why he can't, because he is right. I feel like Singleton is right for his POV. That's the way he feels. We can't make him wrong. Anna's right for her POV. So does Singleton ever, in his bringing stuff up, does he bring other stuff in to make his point too, the way that we just saw Anna? Because I have not been watching that show. I don't even know who that lady is. She looked like Jasmine from Real Housewives of Potomac. I was like, oh, I didn't know Jasmine was a commentator. They didn't say anything about that on Potomac. That's literally what I
Oh,
thought.
really? You didn't know about Abby Phillip?
No, I do not know who that lady is. I do
Oh,
not know
wow.
what
Yeah.
the
So
show is. Is this what we're?
she is one of the main main people on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever there's a debate or an election or whatever, you'll usually see her as one of the main um, full-time people. Yeah, she's really smart, and I like her. But yeah, um,
Well, that's insane because let me get this off here. I have to close some of these windows before we freeze again. Are you still here, Emmanuel?
yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm going to let this play because I did, you know me, I will go to Chat GPT and have a whole conversation because I was like, what did she mean? Am I sensitive? Because, you know, I can, you know me on larger curves, I can make it all about race if I want to. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I need to go check that over there. I felt like my race is, I was like, what am I tripping for no reason? Or is why did this feel uncomfortable to me? Right? The question was
Yeah.
just like the question down here, what did Anna mean when she said what she said? And if Chat GPT or Aya, as I like to call her, got into a very in-depth conversation, and I would love your feedback. It's gonna just take a minute. So it went into how
Okay.
Anna is Nicaraguan born political commentator who often speaks out in defense of immigrants. And when she said there is a hell of a lot of other people other than blacks who came over here illegally, she appeared to be reacting to Singleton's criticism of how immigration enforcement affects Black Americans. Her comment likely meant to emphasize that immigration is not a unique Black issue. Many immigrant groups, Latinos, Asians, etc., face deportation, not just Black immigrants. She could have also meant a shared experience of oppression. Some commentators, especially in progressive circles, try to draw parallels between the Black American experience and the immigrant experience, especially among undocumented people. Navarro might have been trying to place immigrant suffering alongside historical Black suffering to argue solidarity, right? But the phrasing is deeply problematic. This is Chat GPT telling me this, okay? Like it scoured, you know, it can do whole full on research in like 2 seconds, right? So it scoured the thing and it says, however, her phrasing and framing are deeply problematic. It risks minimizing the unique, specific trauma of Black enslavement by comparing it to illegal immigration. The difference to the Blacks and implying that Black people came over here illegally, if she did say that exactly, is both historically inaccurate and insensitive. Given that Black Americans were forcibly brought here, it's not illegal immigration. Now, then I said, was Shermichael wrong to say I'm Black and you're not? Because I was like, well, that was like, I can make a book and talk. It's obvious you're Black and she's not. You know what I mean? But he was asserting the legitimacy of his lived experience when someone who is not Black tries to explain Black suffering or invoke slavery in a debate, especially when the analogy is clumsy. It's common and appropriate for Black Americans to push back. His comment highlights that she can't speak with the same authority about Black trauma, and it signals that comparing immigration to slavery is not only historically false, but emotionally disrespectful to the descendants of enslaved people. I was like, damn, Aya. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then there was a reminder of allyship. So, but true allyship requires sensitivity and listening, not overstepping false equivalencies. It went on to say that the bottom line is that she may have meant to defend immigrants, but broadly ended up conflating two very different traumas: immigration enforcement and Black enslavement. John Singleton's response was justified, and it was a just distinction of the two, and respect the lived Black history of Americans. So yes, it was harmful. and it could be construed as racially insensitive and bordering on racist. I was like, damn, no wonder I got the willies when she said that shit. So, why the remark is harmful? It's historically inaccurate. Saying or implying that Black people came over here illegally is deeply offensive and misrepresenting. It's a vast majority of American descendants of enslaved Americans were forcibly kidnapped through the U.S. in chains. It's not immigration. False equivalence, trying to equate the trauma of slavery to centuries and a centuries long system of racial terror with immigration struggles risks minimizing the specific generational pain and oppression of the Blacks. Ensuring a Black experience in an attempt to highlight immigration struggles, she unintentionally centers a non Black perspective on Black suffering. And that kind of rhetoric can feel like you're trying to rewrite or dilute Black history. And you yourself, Emmanuel, even said this dude is cool with Harriet Tubman getting out the books. So why is he squawking, right? So I don't know about that part, but for this, I don't feel like the dilution of our experience is required in this talk. Now we're almost done here. Could it be construed as racist? Now, while she's not known for being a malicious or intentional racist, intent doesn't cancel impact. Her remark can be seen as racially ignorant and insensitive, especially within the context of American history. We already talked about how it's dismissive and disrespectful to the Black identity and trauma, which can feel like a form of rhetorical violence to those who live with that history, and using Black trauma as a rhetorical device to defend, separate, which crosses a line for many people. Like I said, I felt like it was like almost like she's trying to divide us, like we're this and you're that, but we do it worse. And you know what I mean? I was like, what are you doing, Anna? And she's trained in this. So I was really like, she must be passionate about it and everything, but you know, she literally gets paid for talking. Let's see. The final thought was that she meant to express solidarity, but the way she did it caused harm. Okay. And it reinforced the need for cultural humility. I like that phrase. I hadn't heard of that before. Cultural humility. So I guess that's like, instead to be a culture vulture, if you have cultural humility, then you won't be crossing a line and wearing Pocahontas for there, put that back on top. You won't be wearing for a costume anymore. You know what I mean? Cultural humility. When speaking on experiences that are not your own cultures, not just justifiable, they were necessary in this respect. And I thought that was really interesting. There we go. I did ask it, how else could she have said it? That's one other thing I'll share with you guys before we play it one more time. So, she could have said a respectful and inclusive alternative. Could have been, Sir Michael, I completely respect the deep historical trauma that Black Americans have endured in this country, from slavery to systematic racism today. And I believe we must center that experience when discussing justice. At the same time, I hope we can also recognize that immigrant communities, including many from Latin America, Africa, the Caribbean, are facing their own unique challenges, like family separation and deportation under harsh policies. We need to build coalitions that allow us to fight for justice together while honoring each group's distinct history and pain. She could have said that, you guys. She could have AI'd an appropriate response during an immigration argument where you don't have to bring up Black people trauma and refer to them as the blacks, the blacks, the blacks multiple times within your argument. Okay. It was weird. So why this works is because it acknowledges Black trauma first without comparison or competition. It avoids false equivalencies by not comparing slavery to immigration enforcement. It centers on empathy rather than defensiveness. And it invites coalition building. This kind of language affirms solidarity. Are you still here, Emmanuel? What do you think?
Yes.
Is he still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
What are your thoughts?
I still completely disagree because I think ChatGPT is thinking that Anna was comparing it to slavery or but she wasn't. Again, the words were sloppy and that's why it's leading to this confusion, but her exact words were there's a hell of a lot of people other than the Black people. So she was making a distinction of I'm not talking about this group of people. So I don't like this whole thing of like the trauma and that really is a little non-germane to the issue. She wasn't, and again, maybe she should have said it a different way, but she was definitely making a point that if you're not Black, you're illegal because you came here voluntarily to a land that wasn't yours. So there was no false equivalency, in my opinion.
Well, I love
Because she's
that. I
right.
like.
If you are a non-melanated person, you are an illegal immigrant because you came here voluntarily. You got on a ship because you wanted to, and that's why she said other than the Black people because they got on a ship too, but that was against their will. So she didn't call them immigrants. She didn't say they were illegal. She said a hell of a lot of people other than the Black people.
She did. She definitely said it, and it was very sloppy. It was kind of like when Dr. Heavenly was like a real man, this, and everybody like chewed her head off for a week and 5 months. But she'll get this whole thing will blow over eventually. I do hope but I do feel like she does need to clean it up because calling him indignant on top of angry and all
Oh
like
well,
that,
let me tell you about that
that
angry
was
comment.
like,
The reason why she said that was because prior to this segment, they were talking about the economic downfall of that we're going through right now and how Donald Trump, you guys, got on his cabinet meeting and when asked about people who are struggling, he said, "Well, I guess instead of buying your kid 30 dolls this year, you're gonna have to buy them two, and the second one might be a little more expensive." So they were talking about how frustrating that sounds to normal people.
yeah.
And there was this white lady, very nice white lady. Her name is Gretchen Carlson, who was, talking about how bad these policies are. And she was speaking it very passionately. All of a sudden, Scott Jennings says to her, "Why are you so angry?" And he was kind of like baiting her. So I think when Anna said that, it was more of like
Oh, it was off of that.
yeah, it was
I
more of like a why are you calling a woman angry when you're
Mhm.
also so it was more of like a man and woman thing. But I understand how
Oh,
I understand how that would come across if you hadn't seen that first segment.
yeah. Well, I appreciate that clarification. Because Anne Marie and Bozo have me thinking that all the Black people are supposed to run around and sticking up for Black people being called angry.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which are you going to talk about that later too? Beverly Hills.
The Beverly Hills shakeup and Erica Jane
Yes.
of it all. Well, I don't know. Nothing's really confirmed yet. And, there is a content creator that says a lot of stuff that turns out to be clickbait and not true. So I was like, I wasn't even going to follow that. But then when another content creator who's on the inside says stuff, and it was brought up in OK Magazine that there's allegedly some kind of shakeup, demotions, and stuff like that. So, but
Mm.
what are your thoughts on that? Because we could totally
Well,
see it from
this
this.
this guy who's the senior editor of Page Six, who I guess has a lot of connections, yesterday he seemed to verify that Bose,
Mhm.
Dorit, Erica, and Sutton. The four of them have like are official. Like they will be returning as full time. So that'll be
Really?
interesting. Yes.
Yeah, that'll be nice for the people who are going to watch.
You're not a watch?
Well, I was actually going to stop watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then they added Garcelle. And I loved Garcelle's energy. I loved her vibe. I loved her difference on that show. Um, and now that she's gone, I don't have a reason to watch. I'm not into Bose at all. And I don't feel like her trying to get the law on Garcelle and all of her alliance with, after watching how Dorito specifically treated the fellow black cast member, and then that's who she decided to be her bestie dresty. That was just really interesting to me as a look. And then, but her actions followed through with being against Garcelle on behalf of Dorit by implying defamation and legal and all this other stuff all the way to the reunion. Um, yeah, I just didn't like it. And then the whole thing about, oh, you didn't clock her for calling me angry when I was being pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I won't be watching. I'm not into Dorito. I'm not into Sutton. I'm not. Now I kind of like Kathy Hilton. Is that weird? Like, like Kathy is cute. Jennifer Tilly.
Oh,
I
love her. Yeah.
almost would watch for Jennifer Tilly. But then I'd have to watch the rest of them. And I'm just, yeah, I think I can give them a hiatus for a season, and
Yeah.
I'll watch your reviews because you do quick 10-minute reviews. Can somebody watch Manny's TV Talk channel, please? He has a channel on these YouTube streets. He's most excellent. I love that he's part of the Curvy crew too. Drop his link, smash his buttons, you guys. Let's see. I was going to say this comment about the last topic. Mamer says First Nations communities, elders call what's happening here with Anna and Shermichael lateral violence. And that's when marginalized communities fight amongst each other. And then they ultimately lose their power against the true enemy because
Mm-hmm.
we worry cutting each other's Achilles, and then the real colonizer comes and we can't even fucking run right.
Right. Yep.
Mm. This thing makes your water like smooth or something. Like, have you ever drank silky water?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. It's like, I don't know. That's weird. I love water. Not as much as I didn't drink $150 water before, but I do have some very special moon water in my house it's like double eclipsed moon water. I
Oh.
spritz it around and clean up the energy in my house. I don't know why I keep making these faces, you guys. Okay, wait. So cultural lateral violence, and what was the other thing they said? Cultural humility. Two great phrases today, you guys. Now, do you have any thoughts as a man about Shannon Sharp?
Yeah. Disgusting. Please be mature. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really been too invested into the story, but do I think he should go to jail or go to prison? Not necessarily, but I mean, you make your bed, you have to lie in it. And my thing is with these men that are like soliciting these like 20-year-olds, like y'all do realize there's like some very hot like 30, 40-year-old women, right? Like why do you have to go all the way to the youngest you can? Like I don't know, that's crazy. And haven't did you hear that there's been like ex coworkers and things like that who have been coming out who have been saying he choked them too?
No.
Yes, it's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. See, well, when you let people have a history, this is just like Karen Huger. They let her out of court three other times. Three other times they let her out of court. I feel like the court has a problem too. The court she shouldn't have got to number 4. It should not
Right.
have been tolerated. And same with Shannon Sharp. If you have a history of going around doing this, 1212, thank you, God, then you should have not got to do this. Okay, if anybody who does it. But my only thing with this whole thing is I don't care. I really don't care. However, I am noticing that the news's constant villainization of Black men, I'm feeling like it's distraction. And the amount of the quantity of headlines that specifically highlight the villainization and the debauchery and the kink fetishes of Blackness, when we know full well what's actually going on, but we're not hearing about it on the 11 o'clock, the 7 o'clock, the 6 o'clock, the morning news, the none of that. It's not in all of our feeds. It's like, I just feel like there's a program also that's going on where they're making people who are like this like a poster board kind of for Blackness. And that's only because they keep showing it over and over and over and over and over again. Like, I haven't seen a lot of, I'm positive that there are some Asians with a kink who might be famous. I'm positive there's a white guy with a kink that's famous. I'm positive there's a Russian with a kink that's famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, where are their stories at?
Yeah.
Where are their stories at? So he brought this on himself, and that's where it starts and ends with me. He brought this on himself. Everybody knows in urban lore for Black America is that the scenario, just looking at what we're looking at, a young white girl with an older Black man, and there's some money involved and sex involved. What's the outcome going to be, people? What was the outcome going to be? I'm sorry, but according to urban lore, there was going to be some kind of false accusation at the end of their relationship, according to urban lore. That's how this shit ends up. A call to the popo after years and years of it being okay. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? And again, here we have the same scenario where we have what it appears, a young Caucasian, an older Black man, all these recorded phone calls, as it turns out, for years, a clear setup is seen, but he put himself in that position and he should have known better because the setups are real. Yeah, but I don't care. What he does with his big Black baby batter maker. I don't care.
Right.
I do not care. And the other wife, look, see, and they're always willing to come out 38 years later. Oh yeah, me too. Hey, so you put yourself in that situation and you may get this kind of situation. However, there are lots of other relationships that end up loving, and they build beautiful families that are multi-generational, and it all came from a mixed relationship. So it can be either way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And however, a majority of the stories that we hear about are like this, unfortunately.
What do you make of the narrative that he's like very insecure of his sexuality and maybe that's why he does these things?
I would agree. So I have a working theory that most men who like a lot of ass from different holes might like other holes too.
I've heard this theory before.
Yeah, like they just get bored, kind of.
Yeah.
It's almost it might even start with literal curiosity. It's not like they're even full on like into that. They're just curious. It's like you get to a certain amount of rich and you'll try any hole.
Right.
It just happens. You'll try it. You get to a certain place and you want to feel something. You want to, you just want to, you know what I mean? And then that happens. And then you're like, the way you felt when it happens, you might want that feeling again. And so then it takes that action again, but you're not really into the action. You're into the feeling the action gives you. And then before you know it, your assistant's coming out saying that you had him too.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't care who you're having sex with. I don't care. Don't put it on my kids, though. Don't try to entice me with it. Let that be your life. This is my life. I don't care. Why are we talking about it? Because it's in the news. Why is it in the news? Because it's a black man. But why? I heard he was about to get an $80 million deal. They said what happened to Cosby happened because he was about to buy NBC. They said what happened to Michael Jackson happened because he was trying to buy the Beatles thing. They said what happened, you know what I mean? Insert black name here. And they said it happened because he was about to try to come up in some way that the system came down on him and decided to get all his excess liquidation tied up in legal fees. So it does kind of feel like a conditioned response from the program that is society to go after, wealth, as it were, in the black communities. Now, I don't know, but Sherman Sharp, I'm even like, I only really know Sherman Sharp, you guys, because of Cat Williams. Is that wrong? Like, I don't even know what football team or nothing he played on. I have no idea. I don't know this man, except for from Cat Williams. And then because of Cat Williams, I saw something where he used to argue with some white guy on a like a reality sports show or something. And they used to always bump heads. And then he started doing his own thing. Sherman Sharp started doing his own thing. And now that this is happening, they're saying that white man he used to host with is behind this. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you know anything about them?
Is this about that white man he got into that big blow up
Yes,
on live
yes.
TV?
Right.
Mm.
So they're saying he's who set this up. Because he would have known, perhaps, because him and Sherman were working together. So maybe him and Sherman and this girl have been on again, off again for 4 years or something like that, right? So it started when she was 19, and now she's however old she is 4 years later. And so he could have known about this relationship and talked her into calling Busby. I don't know. That's the speculation, allegedly. I don't know. Okay, so that's enough about Shannon Sharp because we don't care. Okay, Emmanuel. I think we might get the fraud back tomorrow night on Real Housewives of the Titanic. No, it's Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's not sinking anymore. But what do you feel about Portia's thoughting around? I'm very like, oh, this is not a good look. It's a little sickening. And
yeah, and I thought you were a Portia fan.
Okay, so I was very much hashtag love wins because Fallon was pregnant. That's not technically what it is, but he was still technically married. So it is technically what it is, but I was willing to overlook it because of the pregnancy. So now that she's coming out of that, squatting in the man's house and all the stories that are coming out around that fallacy, and now that she's coming into this, talking about Charles at the bank. So that was like episode 2, right? Episode 2 or 3. So she was already eyeing Charles, right? Brought up Charles. And then that's kind of the way she was sitting when she was like looking over there at Simon talking about, oh, Fallon has a jet. It just felt familiar, right? Like, why are you bringing her husband up? And then how she said, oh, I'll sleep with, she better watch out before I fuck Charles. That was very nasty. And now in the mid-season trailer, we have Portia Williams at dinner with Ralph talking about, does he like to sniff women?
Well, you know what though? I'm not mad at that because that's what Drew gets. You want to go and film with other people's baby daddies? Well, you're gonna get the same in return.
No, I don't like it only because this is part of her pattern power again. And let Drew and Dennis tell it, Portia knew. And even somebody else said that Portia had known, so they don't know why she's tripping, except for she ain't got no storyline right now. But she was well aware. So for her to do that is just, I don't know, it just isn't a good look. And for Shamia to be sitting down with Ralph too. I'm like, Shamia, I'm about to look at you cross-eyed. But Portia's just overall, do you think her comeback, do you think she's centerpiece? Who do you think is centerpiece right now?
I'm gonna have to be honest. Center Peach is Angela Oakley.
Oh, that's where we're going next. So Angela did a couple of interviews this week where she explained that it's a misunderstanding about what Wendy Williams said about the additional side baby. But I was just interested, why would she have let that rumor go on so long? Because Wendy hasn't sat in her purple chair for like what, 5 years or something?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Angela Oakley has let this rumor just be a rumor for all this time, because she said it when she had the show. And it's confusing why she wouldn't have corrected it or had Wendy correct it or spoken on it prior to it being brought up on here, which it doesn't appear that there's other interviews, related articles, or nothing. Because I looked it up. I was like, if this came out earlier, has she spoken on this? And it was like recently only articles are talking about it. So allegedly, she was at a party with Wendy Williams and told Wendy Williams, "Oh, girl, it's just a baby." And Wendy Williams was like, "Fuck you. Has it happened to you?" And she was like, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, it has." And she said, then she went on to say, let's cancel this. Then she went on to say that it was her daughter's dad who did it to her. So I'm like, if she went on to say that, then why would Wendy Williams have repeated that it was Charles? I don't know. Is she telling the truth or is she lying?
I don't know, because, okay, to be fair, when Wendy said that, it was during her final days in the show when, she wasn't.
When the dementia was here, she was getting the dementia.
Yeah, when she wasn't, acting as she usually did. But I don't know. I don't think she would just make this up. I think it might be true.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, Wendy, she be vetting stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wendy didn't have to retract much, you guys. I don't know that Wendy ever retracted anything,
Mm-mm.
because she
Even
does
with
so much
Diddy back
research.
in the day.
Yeah, even with Diddy, she stood 10 toes down. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just not totally adding up. But Angela is breakout with her calmness, and all of that, which she says is because of her Chicago. And yeah, but Drew isn't like that at all. Drew is not calm like Chicago, like that part side of Chicago. I don't know if that's the south side of Chicago or the north side. I don't know, but she's not like it.
And you
Yeah.
know what's interesting? I think I can't remember. Was it Carlos King? Someone said that Angela was actually offered to be on the show back in the day, like season 4
Yeah,
or
like season
5.
3 and 5. 3 and 5.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I could totally have seen Angela fitting in with like Nene, Sheree, Kim. She would have definitely been.
But she wasn't even married then. Because she didn't marry Charles till like 2017, I thought, or something like that. Like they just got
Oh
married,
yeah,
right?
you're right. Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know, who was she dating? And then why is that the thing on Bravo? I'm married to medicine. You better be married to medicine. But there's only one housewife on every franchise.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, so we're going to stick to the title, but not really. I don't understand. How did you feel about? Did you see your girl, sweet? I'll call her Sweet Tea. Um, but she's still feeling kind of sour. Did you see her new show?
I saw a little clip of it, but not the whole thing. Was that when she was with some doctor wives? Is that? Well, she looked. The I like the vibes. It looked cute.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it allowed? Somebody at Bravo, is it allowed for these people to go around and take the concept of the show that they're on your network and take it someplace else with some other people, call it the same thing and reference it throughout the thing? Is it allowed? She literally put on there that it's Married to Medicine.
Oh.
it says it like on the thumbnail for the thing. She's like married to medicine. And it's the concept, it's Mariah Huck's concept. And she went and got some friends, and one is a doctor, and 3 are wives.
Oh, maybe it's like her pilot. Maybe she wants to.
My thing is, though, that this is showing her pattern of how she doesn't have like lots of original ideas. She like takes something, she takes a wheel somebody else made and puts rhinestones on it. Sweet and savory, relationship expert. And now you're going to redo Married to Medicine. It's weird. It's like everything that's already been done, she sees it and she's like, oh, I'm going to, and then she acts like she just made it up. Like, oh, I'm going to do this the right way. Bitch, it's been on for a decade. It's the right way. And I guess a little cultural humility might be required for her in this instance, because I kind of feel like that's far. I feel like had Nene in the day decided to go get some more housewives, and isn't there like a non-compete thing where you can't do like shows for like 2 years or something like that? And that's part of why Nene couldn't even get another damn job, was because of this non-compete thing. And it feels like she's purposefully either tearing down Married to Medicine and competing with it openly. And I just am like, where's your grateful bitch? Like, I just don't understand. Like, that's a lot of audacity. That's a lot of audacity. Hey, son, what do you need? Wait a second, you guys. What do you think, Emmanuel?
Well, like I said, I haven't seen it, but I'm maybe because Married to Medicine isn't on it currently. Maybe she gets a pass. I don't know, but maybe the line is blurred because with all of these housewives coming out with their YouTube channels, maybe it's like, well, where do we draw the line?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
He's 17, you guys. He just turned 17. Mel, NYC. Dude, I was hoping you would see the link and come up. Also, Mel NYC reviews.
Hi, how you doing? Happy weekend.
Hey, Mel.
Happy weekend,
Hey,
man.
Emmanuel,
How's it
how you
going?
doing?
Good.
You know what? I was thinking about you. I truly was thinking about you. I was doing something. So let me see. I was just searching in the Google. Say, let me see if it, update, and you were live. So that's kind of was just perfect. And I love the topic because I was on your show maybe a couple of weeks ago, and we had Callie Nola, and some other guests was up here. We just had a really good conversation about Portia and so many different things. And I remember in that conversation, because people were not feeling Drew. Drew, I take her or leave her, but they were like, Drew, why are you filming with Dennis? Why? And I said, you know what? I think mid-season trailer, we're going to see Portia in a scene with Ralph. And sure enough, we have the trailer come out mid-season.
Sure enough.
And she was in the scene with Ralph. So I was saying this when we called. I think I probably said on Kim Pie too. I said it a couple of times, and I was just so happy when I saw that trailer because I was like, oh my gosh, I knew this was going to be happening. So that was one thing I saw. I just was surprised that this happened. That literally, it's almost feel like I had like, I don't know. It just was kind of shocking that I saw it just became very predictable. I think that sometimes these shows are predictable, so maybe that's why I was able to catch it so fast before the trailer came out weeks ago. But yeah, I definitely saw Portia and Ralph having scenes together without Drew there. I absolutely saw that coming.
Yeah, because leave it to Portia, right?
Well, I mean, she's, it wouldn't have been a big thing if she came in the season and she didn't have a storyline. Or, again, if we watch Michelle ATL, as we all do, and you saw exactly what was happening all year with Portia and Simon, you kind of figured this is why she's been so preoccupied, why she really has not been invested in the show. She's been muted on the show. She's been on the phone a lot of times with different cast members, either she's sick or she's busy or whatever. So she's not really been connected. So it's almost like she's been hiding from the cameras. I personally feel like Portia came back. Not, I think she has a love-hate relationship with Bravo and the producers, because the last time she was on Bravo, she had that terrible show that she had where she was exposed and she was fighting. I don't think she's feeling comfortable. She ended up getting having a terrible ending to her, marriage, and so she came back for financial security. But she just thought that it was going to be easier than it was, and
Right.
and I think it's making her very boring this year when it comes to the show. I don't really follow her storyline, so that's kind of what I feel about Portia.
I agree. Did either of you see the viral comment she made? Somebody was like, "Oh, Portia, you're really not giving this season," and she said, "Follow me on my YouTube. You'll get the real me."
I saw that.
And I'm like, this is so Robin Dixon all
Mhm.
over again. Bitch, you're on a show getting paid for your real life. Why do I have to go to another place to see what we're here to see? I don't understand how Bravo they're really slipping. Bravo is slipping. I don't know how how can Phaedra besmirch the network, the shows, and then end up back on them? How can, you know what I mean? And now how can this happen? I'm just like, what are they allowing these things to happen for? I just don't get it, you
Did you guys
guys.
watch Portia and Giselle on Watch What Happens Live this past Sunday?
I could barely watch it.
No, because I can't watch either of them. I can nothing Giselle do I
Ooh.
ingest.
Andy was having the time of his life. Like, he was so happy with them there. Like, he could barely speak. But the thing about Giselle that's weird to me, and I don't know if you guys saw this, she keeps coming for Stacy, the new housewife.
Mhm.
And did y'all see that clip that was posted yesterday of the first day of filming where
Oh yes.
Ashley and Giselle are like coming at her? I'm Team Stacy, you guys. Why are they coming at her?
Me too. Right. It's not your fucking business. We still need to find out about Pastor
Mm,
Payne,
Right.
bitch. Why are you talking to me about anything about JT, TJ, whatever,
TJ, yeah.
whatever? Why are you yelling at me at this public event when you kicked me out of your event last year? So all you do to Stacy is yell in public? Is that what we do in Giselle? Really? So she's to be in color. I feel like, look, I'm gonna say it. Why is she only yelling at Giselle?
Right. Well, well, Lord, you know what? Listen, you know what? I love you, Curve. So, you know what I will say to the clip I saw? I didn't see Stacey crying, which I was happy about that. Stacey is a very smart woman,
Right.
and even when she was exposed, obviously she was exposed terribly at the reunion. I kind of liked how playful she was with it. I didn't believe her, but I enjoyed her. Even enjoyed that sort of Maya Angelou kind of thing.
Yes.
She's good under fire. What I would say to y'all, don't you think? I think that
And
she's really
still.
good in a hot seat. Like some people get like really angry or they get crying. She's like, give it to me,
Mhm.
because maybe as in her
Right.
curves and Emmanuel, she wasn't she like a news broadcaster or something like maybe because of her training she's not really you won't catch her being
Flustered.
flustered.
Right.
She was
Yeah,
not flustered.
yeah. She's not. So the tricks though to both of your points, the tricks that Giselle uses, is ambush, exposing,
Mhm.
all that type of stuff is not working with Stacey, and maybe that's why she's so frustrated with her because she's not really being as emotional as I love my Candace, but she's not going down that road where she's being very emotional. She's just playing
Right.
with Giselle, and I think Giselle's like, damn, oh my gosh, I can't haze her. Because Giselle loves hazing women. She loves hazing women, and she
Mm-hmm.
can't haze Stacey. That's what she's upset about. I think.
Something about the way she's kind of going at Stacy reminds me a little on how she was towards Monique at the very beginning. Like, just so out of nowhere. Like, yeah, like,
Jealous.
why are you mad?
Yeah, and it feels
Now, I will say
jealous.
about this whole
Yeah.
TJ thing, Mel, I can't say for sure, like, who is in the right. But what I will say, though, is it's been 2 months since the reunion aired, and we still have not seen a receipt, no text messages,
That's
no
true.
Venmo. So I don't know. I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see if they talk about this
Right.
again.
But but again, to your both your point, because I listen, I love that you both got challenged. I love you both your challenge. Um, So maybe you already know this information, but Giselle was in an interview locally in her community where she was saying that the new season, she kind of gave a little hint that her new game plan for the season is to expose Stacey. She said that to the reporter. That
Oh.
the reporter said, "Well, we want to know if the big explosion at the reunion where TJ made this statement, will we be following up?" And she said, "You better believe it," or she said something very snappy or whatever. So that's her focus. Her focus is that what happened. That's her main focus. Is to go. Is to
I don't like
me
that.
neither.
That is not what Housewives is not. The real exposing of housewives. It's not that. It's the real housewives of insert city here. And the only way housewives are hanging out with other housewives is if they're comfortable. And we're not hanging out with no bitches that are on a mission to expose us.
Right.
You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's just not
Yeah.
realistic. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City ruining the show with their freaking
Mm,
behind the scenes
mm.
stuff and feeding false narratives. Real Housewives of Potomac already went down this wrong road, and there was even a dead content creator involved. And it's just like too much. Just stick with the real life storyline. Show me your life, Giselle. How's your house, Giselle? How did your ankles get so
Uh-oh.
thin, Giselle? Why aren't there as many creases in your neck as there used to be,
Right.
Giselle? Giselle, is all the couches still purple velvet? Did you rub any off of the velvet anywhere? Giselle, do you still only have a Mini Cooper or did you add a new
Mm.
car? Giselle, how's dating life going with you? Giselle, like so many different things. Why is this beautiful woman wasting her beauty on exposing another beautiful woman? I'm tired of this competing with women. We need to be in community with each other. And this is sending the wrong, very wrong messaging out to young viewing women who are then going to be like, oh, I just need to be in competition with all these bitches. Like it's my thong or theirs. And that's not how we're going to get anywhere in this
I
freaking
think, yeah.
world. She's too pretty, she's too wise, and she should be too close to Black Jesus to be carrying on with all these demon ways. She's not a good person and she needs to be off my screen.
Well, you know what? Amen to that, and I agree. So you know what, Curves, and to Emmanuel, you know what? We just came out of Beverly Hills, where our goddess, Miss Garcelle, had her issues, and she's gone. But our people like us, our black and brown, Latino, black, whatever, us brown people, we gave some of us, not all of us up here. Some of the people I watched gave Garcelle a hard time. But you know what? To your point, Curves, they seem to love when Giselle does it. Now, as I said, Giselle, what they tried to pin on Garcelle and Beverly Hills, the energy they gave her, you would think that she was out there pulling all the stunts that Giselle pulled, and she was
Mm-hmm.
not. So now when Giselle
Exactly.
does it this season, we know she's going to do it exactly as you explain it. The fans who review the show, the people on Twitter, they're going to just be living for it. Oh yeah, go ahead, Giselle, give it to and I will not be one of those people. I didn't see Garcelle doing a damn thing wrong, and I cannot stand Giselle in my opinion because I just feel like I think that for me, she's just a woman who never has been accountable. I don't think that she's worth the clout that Bravo gives her, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't think that she's
Yeah.
that compelling. I think she's boring. I think that she can't read. Obviously, she can't even read the book that she wrote, or at least had ghostwritten. So, she's
Oh,
never,
yep. She need a ghost reader.
you need a ghostwriter. Like, come on, Miss Giselle. So, I don't like that. But I think Emmanuel, you said just now, that part where she was with Portia, to go a little bit back to Atlanta just for a little bit. I was saying, I believe on your channel again, because I've been loving calling into your channel when we can, is that I don't hate Portia, but I was saying on one of the times I called her and said, Portia, please do not take any pointers from Giselle, because people are people are having their way with Portia right now currently because of the way she's interacting with Angela, as far as the way she had brought up supposedly funny. Oh, I think I may know something about your husband. That was at the infamous time at the table with Britt and all of them. So that she brought that up and she kind of backtracked. Now she's saying, oh, I may want to be with your husband, all type of stuff. She's playing with the husband. She's playing with this kind of stuff. She's also having Drew say, well, you shouldn't be filming. So basically, I feel like she's taking lessons from Giselle. She's taking lessons from Giselle how to be a messy housewife on the show with this sort of innuendo and with these kind of messy ways. And she's been in the game for a long time, and that's kind of. And then you just said too, the fact that she's referring people back to her YouTube channel to get truth, to get some kind of, something that makes sense, is given with Robin. So, and all roads lead to Giselle and her friendships. I believe that she
Yeah.
destroys. She's not, well, I would say that she's not really a good friend to Robin or to Portia or to any woman. Nobody should be taking any lessons from Giselle about how to be, just they should not. I don't think so.
Yeah. That's like that's your show, Emmanuel. Didn't Jennifer just get interviewed and they asked her something about Evelyn commenting on her
Oh
marriage and she
yes,
was like
yes.
she's like she's never even really been married before. I'm not taking any relationship advice from her. And it's true. Like, who are you to sit here and try to check me on a fake relationship? Because as far as I can tell, somebody give Stacy my number right now today. I will tell her how to read Giselle back in no time flat. You trying to sit here and read me about a fake relationship, and I would just start naming them off. Walter was Ken's, but what didn't she have like
Sherman,
at least three faking? Sherman, yeah, Sherman,
Jason.
the Herman, and Berman. We're gonna get them all. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I would just be like, oh, I thought this was what we did on this show, Giselle. You did it 3 times. I have 2 more to go.
Mm.
And what about that? What about that man who said he liked Giselle's mother more than he liked her?
Oh, I think his name was Kevin or
Exactly.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, he was light skinned,
Yeah.
So yeah, just you know what?
And then she brought on that fake one from the Southern something or something from the other
Yeah, I
Bravo
know who
thing.
Oh,
was that
And
person.
have
Jason. Yeah.
yeah.
But Curves, I'm glad
I
you
would
brought it up. Yes, on Monday the show returns. Are you gonna watch Basketball Wives?
yeah, I might watch this
Okay, good,
season
good.
because I'm giving up the Valley. I can't. I can't. My eyeballs almost jumped out of their sockets when I tried to watch the 3rd episode because my optic nerves were saying, bitch, you're going to watch these racists on a spinoff and meanies on YouTube? And it just wouldn't let me continue to watch. I'm sorry.
Right.
It wouldn't let me.
You know what? I'm going not to interrupt you, Emmanuel, but I want to say I'm having difficulty right now. I'm sorry with one of my favorites, Miss Lisa Vanderpump, because I'm just having difficulty because we have the Valley. I'm not sure if she produces it or if she's connected or whatever. But like you just said, there's some people over there with problematic views about race and how they've been in the past, and they're being rewarded over there. I can't stand that. Now we have Stassi, of all people, connected to a new show, and you got Lisa Vanderpump and her and new interviews, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Miss Vanderpump, honey. I'm just you're not my lady right now. I'm not like
And Faith doesn't have a job
right.
still. And as it turns out, Faith used to date Max, and Lisa broke that up real quick.
Yeah, so
I
It's a
have
lot.
I
It's a
have
lot with that.
appreciated how kind LVP has been when she talks about Garcelle. Like she's like
yeah,
And
me too. I
very
like
nice.
that's her saving
But
grace.
yeah, this the show I'm not gonna be able to watch Vanderpump Villa. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm not. We're not condoning Stacy over here. Stassi and her new chin. No,
no.
we're not.
Right. Yeah, I just like, oh, like, but but again, not what they say, a broken clock is right one time a day. Now, Miss Brandy, who was not one of my favorites, wasn't that we have to remember the initial breakdown of their friendship was because she said that Lisa Vanderpump would do anything for her shows because she said that you brought in this
Mhm.
woman who was with my
Who slept with my
and the whole
husband? Yep.
thing and so again I'm thinking sometimes Brandy is she's right. I mean, I like the way she talked about Dorinda. I like the way she talked about LVP. Like, I don't like all the time, but she ain't wrong. And I like when she called out Lisa Rinna's 20-year hairdo, which sent Lisa Rinna to trauma. The reason that Lisa Rinna plays with her hair now is because of that read that Brandon gave her at the reunion. So Brandy is iconic in her way. She's messy. She's also
Yeah.
problematic. I'm praying for her face to get fixed, truly. But she definitely, I really am because her face is melting right now. So I'm just hoping that
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it's
melting.
not looking good. But listen, she can clock the girls when she needs to. And I'm sorry, sometimes she's right about these people. Like she's right about Dorinda. She's right about
She is.
LVP and how she broke that down, and also Lisa Rinna's hair and other things. So and
You don't
even
like Dorinda, Mel?
well, you know what? Emmanuel, I love. You know what? I'll tell you. I'm not sure how long you watch New York City, I loved it to both of you. I loved Dorinda when she first got. You remember the season when she first got there? My favorite scene of Dorinda was when they went to Atlantic City and Sonia got drunk, and Dorinda had to be putting her to bed, and Sonia said, "Well, I partied with JJ or John John." That was the. I loved Dorinda that season. She was classy. But I feel like for me, when she gets drunk, she
Yeah.
overtalks people. She gets very aggressive. She thinks she's right about everything and it gets annoying. And I didn't like Tinsley, but the way she talked to Tinsley, if Tinsley was a black woman, Dorinda would have got punched out. I'm sorry, she just would have got knocked out until the lake or wherever we have here in New York City. She would have got knocked out because she just turned totally mean. I love Dorinda's politics because I was team Dorinda. I was team Jill over Dorinda, but then when Trump got in office, and I want we want to be political, and Jill lost her mind, and she was up there just having
Oh
a
yeah.
yeah, so I said, you know what, Dorinda, I love your politics. I love your early season. I even love when you went off on Bethany and that broad party. I lived for that moment too. But when she got older, or not older, excuse me, the years got a little more, and she got a little more lonely, or she lost her, her and John broke up, or whatever it was. She just became very hostile, and she became drunk. And you remember too, there was a scene that I wish it would have made it where they said Dorinda went so nuclear in one of the seasons where they found out that John was working with Tinsley's boyfriend and they could not film the footage because it was so outrageous that Tinsley, when her little self, was hiding in the bathroom for hours that she was so scared.
Oh
So,
my.
Oh my
yes, because there
gosh.
was that.
Wasn't it around Jack's favorite thing, cocaina or
I don't
something
know.
like that?
I don't know.
Allegedly,
I think it was like a
allegedly,
business.
there was a money
Yeah.
situation and coke.
What you see.
So those were the two stories that I heard.
But yeah, so I mean, I probably would love to stay in her house and cook and have
Yeah.
fun when she's not drinking because I probably would cuss her out. I probably would. If she tried me, I mean, I'm not, no hands, none of that. That's not my shit. But if you try to, do me like you do Tinsley, honey, I'm gonna read you. I'm gonna get you real good. So
Yeah, that was harsh what she said to Brandy when she was like, "How about your son died?" I was like, "Whoa."
right.
Oh my
But
god.
So
Mel, because you
Did
mentioned
you
politics.
see Love Hotel yet?
Oh yes, I saw the first
um
episode.
you know what I did. So again, I want to hear what you're going to say, Emmanuel. Because, but you know what, to Curves in both Emmanuel, I didn't think I was going to like Love Hotel, but the only reason I like it is because I never believed the women when they said that Luann was such a sexual, how aggressive she is sexually. So this is the real season where we see what Bethany called her. Now I didn't agree with the lady was the late because again I want to shock y'all, but there was a scene with Luann where Ramona and Sonia they were drinking, and they said, "We heard a rumor, Luann, that you get soaking." I'm not going to say the full word, but they said that she gets very explosive in an intimate moment. I died laughing. So because it's around New York City that she's a very, explosive lover. Basically, she's very prolific, and she's a very aggressive lover. And then she said with Tom when she was with him before they got married, they would have sex for 16 hours a day. So now we at Love Hotel and Giselle, one thing she did say that was funny. She said, "Well, Luann was over there with all the guys," and so that's why I'm watching for Luann to see what the woman really was saying about her. It was true. So that's
And
why, yeah.
yeah, and personally, I'm watching for Shannon. I was curious on Ashley and Giselle, but then they're so bad at keeping secrets. The day before Bravo's Love Hotel aired, Ashley posted that she was with Josh. So clearly they
I saw
yeah, so
that.
clearly they weren't really invested in the show, whereas I think maybe Shannon could be. So that's why I'm gonna
Mm.
keep watching for Shannon.
And she lied. Real quick. And Ashley lied because didn't she tell us at the reunion she was divorced, officially divorced now?
Uh,
And then on the show, she says that she's not divorced and that she was dating and things didn't go well with Josh. And then then like he said, she posts a picture that she's with
so
Josh.
is
She's such a
so is
liar.
Josh from a TV show or from her regular life?
Josh is from last season when they went on their speed dating
Oh,
and she came home with that curly haired white
uh,
boy and brought him to the Love
Mhm.
oh,
Lagoon.
yes. Okay,
And he
so
does seem like a
Mhm.
nice guy. Like nothing against him, but like don't lie about it.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
but listen, Ashley still lies that she's a good singer. I mean, she's out there
Oh,
messing up Roberta Flack
Oh my
songs.
God.
You know, and that was another thing to Emmanuel and to both, to your point, Emmanuel, because you said you watched this, you know, they was on Watch What Happened Live. Why did I just roll my eyes so hard when Giselle said, "Oh well, now we know that Candace can blow, she can sing," but they always gave her a hard
yes.
time. So now here's Giselle. Well, you know, they just said she made up an excuse to say why Ashley was having technical difficulties. Miss Giselle, honey, the girl can't sing. She cannot sing.
She can't
And you
sing.
stop lying to the audience. Now, let me ask you: would you want her to sing at one of your daughter's graduations? I'm gonna let you sit there for a minute and think about that. Because no, I wouldn't want her to sing at a funeral. To be honest with you, that woman cannot. I'm surprised that Roberta Flack family is not suing her because she is messing up she is messing up that lady's song. I'm sorry. She is messing up her song. So no.
And she's not stopping
Um,
there. She did. There are all these viral clips of her doing
oh my
karaoke.
God.
Yeah,
It's a
she
bad
keeps
look.
doubling down on it.
I mean,
But
but
you
yeah.
guys, um, you know, because we've been talking about how these housewife shows have gotten very produced and they all want to take down one person. You know, the one show that I feel like to this point still hasn't fallen into that trap, and I'm so excited for its
Who?
return. Real Housewives of Miami.
Mm.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for its return. But I just wanted to say that real quick.
You guys, I had a curvy call me, and they were like, the new housewife that's coming on. I know the ex-wife of the husband and the Shonja, Mr. Shonja. And allegedly, the things he did to satisfy Stephanie financially also consisted of him pulling a Luann and going in the kids' trust to finance them. Stole money from his kids allegedly. I have my allegedly right. Took the money from the kids' trust to fund the plane. It's not paid off. She was going to brag about a plane and stuff. It's not paid off. It's leased, but pays for that. They're failing restaurants and all of this other stuff. They have many lawsuits. It was like he was very married when he met Stephanie, and she set her marks on him, and she got him. But the wife, the ex-wife rather, while she's like, I guess it is a little bit, you could say, I mean, if she's telling, it can be bitter, but she also is like, she's not just all roses. Like, she's a plotted, manipulative person who doesn't mind taking literal money from children.
Wow. You know what? So you know what, Curves and Emmanuel, I feel like you probably would laugh at this. I feel like with Bravo, there was so many housewife shows, and I feel like I was watching all of them, and then I had to make a choice. Do I choose Dallas or do I choose Miami? And I chose Dallas. So I never really got into Miami that much. Although I remember there was a model who had a big fight with, I think, Audrey, somebody in the kitchen, whatever. So I remember that. But I do say that Lawson, she love her or hate her because she's not my favorite. She kind of brought me back to watch it in small doses. I need to really catch up because I know that it was infamous for her saying that she was having, sexual experience with her younger man so many times. That was kind of shocking. And then I know that a beautiful lady over there who's has short hair. She was fighting cancer
Oh
and
yeah, Gertie.
Gertie.
Gertie. So
Uh-huh.
what I'm coming back for because I followed Miss Gertie because of her interviews. I just loved her last year. So then I followed her, and then I'm seeing her do interviews this year. Like, well, I'm coming for the girls. I said, go ahead, Miss Gertie. And she said somebody threw a drink on her. I said, well, who's going to throw a drink on this beautiful lady? And that's going to be some mid-season. There's going to be some drama. So I'm like, okay, I'm here for this. I just hope that the Gertie, as y'all said, I hope that she's well and that she's strong enough, to be fighting with these people because if that's the drink thing, it sounds like me all over again.
Yes, honestly, Mel, you're gonna love Miami. Like it's like housewife slash telenovela all mixed into one. Like every episode is good. So you know what I would recommend you doing? You know how they were paused for like 8 years, like they were
Mhm.
off the air.
For 8
I know, isn't that
years.
crazy? I would recommend you start watching their comeback season because it was sort of like a reboot. Like they brought some original people, but they added more new people, and I believe that's season 4. So yeah, go on Peacock if you have it and watch season 4, season 5, and season 6, and then you'll be caught up for this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at that. I will start that probably
Yeah,
tomorrow.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, because I think I was.
Those are good episodes. Also on this season, they are doing somebody needs to give Dr. Heavenly an extra check because Dr. Heavenly allegedly is the reason why Sweet and Sour, the new wife of the ex of Quad, came on TV. It was the first time in the history of television that, unless it was Sister Wives, that they had the ex with the current, right? It was like the first time. And then it happened on one of the Love and Marriage Huntsville shows. They did it someplace else. Somebody did it after. Didn't Carlos King turn around and do it on one of his shows where he had like the ex with the new person? And then over in the OC, we had Shannon with her ex and the
Oh
new
yeah.
ex. But Dr. Heavenly was the first one that ever suggested this happen. And now on Real Housewives of Miami, who did Stephanie Shonja used to date? Nicole's husband, Anthony.
Mm.
You didn't know that?
I didn't until the trailer when Nicole said it.
Well, it's very true. And I'm like, and everybody was speculating, was that the reason she's not on the show? But she went to her Instagram even before, no, was it before Shonja got announced? But she was like, she's having really bad postpartum.
Yeah.
She was high anxiety. You know, her anxiety, her Doechii was, you guys like that song by Doechii, Anxiety? I like
Oh
it a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, so her anxiety was inside of her and it was making a lot. So I could see her taking a year off, like how Candace
Yeah.
took a year
I was
off.
about to say
Do you think it's true?
I appreciate that I think that's very healthy for them to do, like take a year off because
Yeah.
having a baby, like that's a lot. So
Yeah, that's a lot. And it's a lot of energy you expose yourself
yeah,
to
yeah.
too. Like she could be super sensitive. Do you think Candace is really coming back to
I
Potomac?
really do want her to come back.
Me
Last
too.
season, I think we might have been like, it was when they took that cast trip. When I was like, oh my gosh, this is probably the worst season of Potomac.
Right.
I actually tweeted Candace and I said, Candace, please save us because we need
Yeah.
Candace. So yeah, we need Candace.
So,
But you know what? Just
Yeah.
one quick thing, Mel, before you say, I do wonder though. So last season we saw Wendy and Giselle kind of make up, and they kind of became good friends towards the end of the season. Do y'all think that would play anything? Like if Candace were to come back, what do y'all think that would be messy? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, I think that.
Candace coming
I
back.
think that. Mhm.
Yeah, the fact
Go
that
ahead,
like
Mel. You
Wendy
guys
and
can
Giselle
comment.
are cool now.
No, I was going to say. I think
Go
that.
ahead.
Yeah, I think that. You know what? Listen, I think that. Okay, what I'm thinking. I think that if Robin came back and stuff was still unresolved with Wendy, that Giselle would definitely be Team Robin and not really be as open or as friendly or as fair with Wendy. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
with Candace coming back, I actually think that Wendy is obviously much smarter than Giselle, but it would be definitely. I think that she trusts Candace, and I'm not sure if she trusts Giselle. So I don't think she'd be out for Giselle to make any moves, but she definitely wouldn't give her any leeway. So I think that part right there. And I was going to say too to Courage, and she said, "Do you think that do we hope and do we hear that Candace come back?" I hope so. Because again, Ashley was annoying me with her interviews with Love Hotel, and she was like, "Well, I don't know if Ken's coming back. Hopefully, she matured." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, mature? You have not
She
matured. Like,
said that?
She did. She was in an interview on. I think I watched so many things. I watched Pride. It's a network of gay LGBT Pride. So she was interviewing with this guy, and she was like, "Oh, I hope that if she matured, and." And I'm thinking Ashley is such a liar. Last year, when Candace had her baby, she said, "I'm so happy for her, and I plan on giving her a baby present." And all this time later, she has never still given her a baby present. It was all a lie. So I think
Mm.
that for me, it was just unfortunate. I think it was Bryce. Bryce is an interviewer on Entertainment Tonight, who I don't like his interviews. I actually think I actually don't like some of these. I can go a whole list of these interviews who I don't like. These people on Page Six and Bryce and Entertainment. I just have my issues with the way how messy they are and how not factual they are. So with Bryce, he was asking Candace, just as you said, Emmanuel, he was like, "Oh my gosh, we missed you. The season was not good or whatever, and I'm hoping that your social media is hinting that you're coming back." That was what he said. Why would he go to Ashley months later and say, "Well, I feel like Candace has been hinting on her social media that she was coming back"? No, Bryce, you said that you was hoping she was hinting. So that was a way for her. That was a way for him to give Ashley the opportunity to kind of be shady a little bit towards Candace, and she wasn't mean, but I thought she was a liar. She wasn't factual, and I really don't give a damn about her point of view. I don't care what she thinks if Candace is coming back. She's not even really that major on the show anymore. Not really.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really have any value to me on that show.
Well,
Yeah, I
I'll
agree
be.
with you. Ashley should have left probably about 2 seasons ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay. Can I give you guys my very unpopular Potomac opinion?
Yes,
Yes.
because you said it really fast. Yes.
I actually love, for the most part, Charisse, and wouldn't mind her being on the show, even if she was like a friend.
Yeah, Sharice. I never had a problem with Sharice. I thought she couldn't be on the show because her husband and the divorce, and then after that, because Karen. And now that Karen's gone, I would not mind Sharice back as long as she's not up Giselle's butt. I wouldn't mind her back at all.
Right. But I love Charisse, especially those first few seasons when she was like not afraid to remember when she kicked out Giselle from her crab
Hmm.
boil, and
Yeah.
she was like your friend coming to my I like Charisse. I didn't appreciate when we found out that she was a little bit behind those trainer rumors when it pertained to
Uh-huh.
Monique. That's what I didn't like. But other than that,
Well, I
she
thought
I
that was
mean
Gigi who was behind the trainer
Yeah,
rumors.
but
What
she
does
see,
Sharice have to
yeah,
do with it?
Gigi. Yeah, so I wouldn't. So I would say that it's so funny when we watch these. At least when I watch, I want to say how y'all feel. When I watch this show, it's so funny, and it's kind of the reason I keep watching them because I go up and down with my feeling about the ladies on these different shows. So some season, like in 2018, I may watch the season live, and then I may rewatch it again, like I've done, and in 2025, something. Oh my gosh, I totally feel differently about the storyline and just and so with Sharice, she's one of those kind of people when she was there because she was always at the time I enjoyed Karen so much. I enjoyed her so much. So anytime that Sharice would call her broke or ugly or all the things she kept, she was always reading Miss Karen a lot. I didn't like Sharice. But for me, I stopped liking Karen as much post the fight with Monique. So I love Candace so much, and because I never really trusted Karen afterwards, I would be okay with Sharice coming back because I didn't like her based on who she was fighting with. And now that I really don't really adore Karen as much for a long time, I would be open to her coming back. But I think that sometimes you can ask, yeah, I ask y'all this. Don't you think that sometimes I think that for the past couple of years, Sharice was there because she did have that kind of that beef with Monique at one point, and then she had a constant beef with Karen. But she came back now; she don't have beef with anybody. So I think that would probably be the part where you try to figure out where would she be there to pop. Because I don't think that she would start anything with Stacey just because I think Stacey would just kind of walk past her. I'm trying to figure out where would she fit in to have conflict basically, and without Monique or Karen, she doesn't really. I don't know. I don't know where she would get that energy from.
right, that's true. That's true. And that's why I want us to know, like, I mean, if they already started filming yesterday, like,
Uh-huh.
why haven't we heard like more announcements of like who's actually gonna? So clearly, we can see that Ashley, Giselle, and Stacy will be back. I'm sure Wendy will be back too, but I don't know.
Jasmine is out. I heard
Jazzy?
Jazzy is out. I heard that
Oh
already.
no.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Jazzy. I wonder if Kriana will be back.
Yeah, I heard she's definitely back. But I haven't got a confirmation on Candace. And I was wondering where did that rumor originate so I could, see if I believe it or not. But
I
we're
think
just
that rumor originated when she posted on her Instagram that she was at NBC Universal's.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't take it that she was there for them.
you
I
see,
didn't take it like that.
and Curves, you so then that's so wonderful you said it because again, then it escalated when she went over to Entertainment Tonight, and that was Bryce. Bryce was the interviewer over there. He interviews all these people, and he was the one that made it that way. I remember watching it, and it was like, wait a minute, what is he doing? He was the one, and that was kind of stirring the pot. Um, but what I was going to say about this season, yeah. So Candace may be there, may not be there. Well, I forgot. It was something else I was going to say. But yeah, I'm this season. Yeah, I'm not sure what Wendy's going to do. I hope that the fans don't turn against her the way they turned against Garcelle because I don't know. I just feel like if she
Well,
has to run,
Wendy gets a lot of hate, and I feel like the hate meter for Wendy is like over the top, kind of like how it was for Garcelle for no apparent
yeah,
reason. It's just like you're literally trying to live your best life, and everybody hates you,
because
and they're like, you should be doing your life this way. No, bitch, I do my life my way. Like it's weird.
because I can
Well,
see her doing what she you remember the reunion, she was the one that was driving a lot of that really good conversation with her husband and with Stacy and with the ladies across the country. She was really like getting answering the right questions. So do I
oh
see
yeah.
going into the reunion and sort of not doing Garcelle, and I love Garcelle, but asking questions to all the cast about their lives, their businesses,
Yeah,
or what I can't, and
I
I
feel
can
like
see.
she should be center flute
I
more than Giselle. I don't know how
Oh, I
Giselle
hope
keeps ending
so.
up in
I
the center.
hope.
well, I will say I think we could all agree that season 9 was probably Wendy's best season. She didn't really have conflict with anyone, but
Hmm.
I think it was, fair cuz she had just had 3 very hard seasons. So it was I will say as someone who doesn't really like Wendy too much, I did enjoy season 9 seeing her. You know, they all celebrated her for her 40th birthday. So yeah, she was really like she had a very good season 9. And like Mel said, she had a great performance at the reunion. I never really liked Wendy because of how she came in,
Mhm.
and I told you guys this. Monique Samuels. I'm always gonna love that woman. She's my favorite. So I didn't like that Wendy came in with the click and oh you are a bad representation and this and that. I didn't like that. I then started becoming Team Wendy season 7 because I thought it was so bad the way they treated her. Like this woman was they threw a drink at her and still antagonized. It was too hard to watch. But then that kind of changed season 8 because I was kind of Team NECA to be honest. So now I'm kind of just neutral.
She like NECA.
Yes, curves.
As in
His
NEKA NECA, that NECA.
NECA, yes. Who I think is she might have already given birth if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I
But
think she did. I think she did.
Yeah,
yeah,
Isn't
but
it
I was
funny?
like,
Her and Sanya Richards Ross both were like on the show trying to get pregnant, get off the show. Then and Sanya's on her second baby off the show, isn't she? Like,
yeah.
is she really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I think she was
But you know
pregnant
what?
again after that.
So Candace and so many, I believe in, that's a whole other story, but I believe in metaphysics and all that stuff. And I think that for me, if it's a toxic place, especially for a woman's body, a woman's body is a very intuitive, being, that it could definitely stop you from, having your baby or even being really receptive to in vitro and all those things that you have to really be very centered for. So it really does help that you can, get off the show. I mean, even Monique at one point, who's not my favorite, she said, "Yeah, I think that when I, had my miscarriage and I was very stressful on the show, sometimes people regret being on the show in high level of anxiety because you just want to protect your family." So I think that in some
Yeah,
way, that's what Kenneth learned. She said, "I'm not going to be on this show, God forbid, having some kind of major issue, and then like some of the ladies have had on the show." But I was going to say two
right.
things. One thing Giselle was whispering to these guys. I'm not sure if I watch Page Six. I do watch a lot of stuff when I'm at work and stuff. I watch Page Six. I don't know why I
Oh,
watch
those
it.
two guys with the tea tray.
You know, Curves, I went to the comment section. My comment went viral because the way they talked about Garcelle. And I said, come on, guys, Lisa Rinna did this. And then somebody came, my comment went viral because I kind of pushed back to them. I feel like those guys, again, I have a whole, and you remember my conversation with you and your girl, Miss Krista, about Patrick McDonald, how I feel about the gay
Yeah,
guys in the community. So I can
right.
go down that road for like a long time. But, when it comes to the community, I do get the guys together real fast. Now, I try to be very politically correct online, but in person, I just don't take no prisoners. So I didn't like how they do their stuff. So I don't try to comment too much because I don't want to be negative. But that one time when they talked about Garcelle, I definitely let them have it in a classy way, and it went viral. And I know they saw it because it was like, oh my gosh. So I don't like them. I don't like Bryce because they kind of remind me of people who I kind of know around, and they just not my type of people. But
Right.
Giselle was there at their little show. She was like, "Oh, I don't know what's going on this season, but I'm hoping that Robin comes back." Really, Robin? Oh my gosh, no! I don't want to see Robin come back. She's always talking about Robin. And then I want to hear what you have to say about this because you brought this up, Curves, about married to medicine. Now, listen, Dr. Heavily, me and you disagree, and I love you, so that's about that. But you person, we did listen. I love Curves more than I love. I'm confused by Dr. Heavily. Let's put it that way. So, but what I will say is, you brought up a good point because I'm not sure if we're covering this. I told you I love Dallas Housewives. Well, why did one of my cute little Miss Tiffany Moon, who I used to love on Dallas Housewives, she's been making the rounds with her book, and it's been good. I follow her. Her book looks wonderful. She said, "Well, I don't know if I'll go back to a reboot of Dallas Housewives because of the racism that she suffered
Hmm.
over there at that show. But I do love Deandra, and I love Mama D. Yeah, I love Miss Mama D because she said, I don't give a rip. I said, go ahead, Mama D. So I love Mama D, and I love I kind of like Deandra, but Tiffany was over there. She said, but to your point, Curve, she said, well, I don't know about a reboot of Housewives of Dallas, but I am a doctor, and I do love Married to Medicine, and I would love to have Married to Medicine. My heart dropped. I said, "Oh my gosh, yeah."
It'd be
Mar-
great.
she loves she knows Mariah. She knows all the ladies in some way, not intimately, but she was kind of promoting in a way. She said she would be down for a Married to Medicine Dallas. She said it would be very
Wow.
entertaining. She knows all the people in her hospital, and I wanted to give that to you because I know you love Married to Medicine, but. I was watching. I love Tiffany
I
Moon.
want them to do more franchises of that. I feel like the problem was the ladies were too professionally excellent for them to get into the type of drama they wanted to or something. I don't know what happened to the LA because even the LA one, it was interesting. The
It
ladies were
was, yeah.
interesting. They had a whole thing going on. I love a crossover anything.
And
And
Didn't Contessa French, didn't Contessa, wasn't she a part of that cast too a little bit? Because she had like
it
strong
was
French.
centered around one of Contessa's friends from the Navy or
That's
the
right.
one of her
Something like,
friends from whatever the service or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad you brought that up, Mel, because you're so right. I think I'm not a Dr. Heavenly fan at all either, like you, Mel, but I know Curves is. But one of the things I will say, I think we can all agree, is that Married to Medicine has been one of the most under underappreciated and underestimated shows on Bravo.
Yeah.
And I remember when Mariah did her interview with Carlos King not too long ago, and how she said that like this show had the potential to franchise to so many places. Like you talked about Tiffany Moon. I live in Dallas, Texas. Tiffany Moon is very well known. Down
Yeah.
here in Houston, Texas, it's one of the biggest medical communities in the country with many people of color down here in Houston, Texas. So the possibilities for a Married to Medicine franchise could have been so great, but
Mhm.
they don't care.
So let me ask you this.
I
So,
feel like it's a couple of things,
oh,
honestly.
mhm.
It's going to be not only the excellence of minorities specifically, which the show is centered around more so Black excellence, people of color excellence than white doctors, let's say. It's not like Dr. Oz, right? So, plus it's women. It's a lot of women and it's a lot of minorities, right? So, that could be one reason why they all of a sudden don't need a franchise. And the number of doctors that they could have, everybody knows a doctor in another city. I don't know why they don't go with that, but they would have to pay Mariah.
Yeah.
And they
So-
might have a problem with paying Mariah additional dollars for additional franchises based off of her intellectual concept, that maybe they trying to hold back her dollars actually, or maybe there was some type of clause where it's their idea for this long. You know how some,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
I do.
they're gonna wait past the time where she can get some credit too, and then all of a sudden we'll have all these franchises. That could happen.
So
I don't know.
But you know what, Curb? So I want to say this. So if it, you're spot on. You're right and brilliant with that. But let's just say that it was possible, because again, this was it was so exciting, because I was just watching her because I love her, and I was looking at her book, and she brought this out of nowhere, and I'm thinking there must be some kind of conversation between her, because she knows different people, and they
Yeah.
must have talked about it, and so, and then also she's having legal issue with her hospital, and this is what I'll get to Emmanuel. I'm not sure if he knows this. She was having legal issues because she's a beautiful minority woman, beautiful woman, Asian woman, and she's very predominant, very known, as he said there, and she's a brilliant at her job. So she said she made her hospital over $1 million in referrals and business. She had an office. They kicked her out of her office. She doesn't have a place to do her work. So then they cut down her hours. So this is whole thing. So that would have been this perfect fodder for filming. And then she also said, Kurz and Emmanuel, that she knows so many diverse women that she's intimately friends with, that she could cast a show. So it's almost like she's like a brilliant center person for a multi-racial, sassy, because she's also sassy, she's very smart, beautiful, where she can really cast a Married to Medicine Dallas with different people. And she also has her drama and other things, because she's suing her hospital, or something legal is happening right now with her work that she's been
Really?
yeah, it was a wonderful interview.
I wonder if, because somebody brought up Palaver, thanks for being here. Couture Bay, thanks for being here. Shelbs came through, thanks for being here. Mademoiselle is in the house, thanks for being here. Andre Shannon's in the house. 2 years. Recess Quinn is in the house. Let's see. Anybody else I missed? Thanks everybody for coming through. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I hope, one who cares. Thanks for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying this panel. Kathy Farron, Mamere, Miss Kiki, this Emmanuel. His link is in the bio. His link is in the chat. And then we have Mel NYC Reviews, who we haven't been able to talk into getting his own channel yet, but we love his POV. So thanks for coming through. I'm loving the panel too, Couture Bay. She has a channel in these YouTube streets. If somebody can drop her link, that'll be beautiful. But Palaver said this comment about Dr. Tiffany is her favorite too. She was my favorite. When I did watch Dallas, it was because Tiffany Moon went over there. Because I was like, I'm not watching this some more just caucus ladies complain. I just didn't have it in me. And then they got Tiffany Moon, and I was like, yay. So I went and checked it out. And I didn't know the whole kerfuffle with the lady that they sat down in the chair at the previous reunion. I didn't know about that till after I started watching with Tiffany and then went back. I was like, ooh, she walked into a fire's den, right?
Mhm.
So a viper's den rather, because that was chock full of racism over there, chock full of racism. And she maneuvered and managed it very well. She was one of my favorites, but she did come to Garcelle Bouvet's defense and to Sutton's defense against Anne Marie in the esophagus gate, and specifically the anesthesiologist versus
right.
the nurse anesthesiologist. So I'm wondering if, in timeline's sake, if Tiffany Moon's problem started after she checked Anne Marie and got into that conversation, because Anne Marie has a lawsuit against the anesthesiologist board or something like that. She really is suing them. And for defamation, because they said that she said she was a doctor. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the Eighth Housewife played back a clip where you clearly implied that there was no difference. You know what I mean? There's a big difference. But she even like said it like there was no difference. You know what I mean? And so I wonder, look, me in level 8 in conspiracy theories, I wonder if Tiffany Moon's problems
It
may
could.
from that. I don't know.
You just triggered me because when you said Mary Madison, I was like, I was just watching this interview, and you're right. It could be that way. Again, it's just, I think that we all agree that Married to Medicine is a wonderful franchise. It didn't work in California, maybe because it just didn't have the same energy that Atlanta has or that Houston or Dallas has, maybe a little more smaller. But I think there's a lot of ingredients there. And I think that, I was going to say this too. Maybe if they want to test run it, they may not have to fully commit, put it on Bravo, put it on Peacock. Do it like a
Peacock.
do a
Yeah, I
little,
love Peacock stuff.
That's a great idea. Yep.
Yes.
do a little limited, maybe 7, 8 episodes real quick to with her lawsuit and introducing us to her girlfriends and
That would be
and
excellent,
all
Mel.
that. Put it up
We
there
need
on.
to call Patrick McDonald and get right on this.
I don't think Patrick want to take my call. I don't know, but it's okay. I done told that man. But yeah, but you know what? They need to do that. That's what they might need to do about that. But I was going to say too, thank you for the compliment too, because when I go, people are like, oh, you should. It's funny that Emmanuel was here because I think he's doing a really good job, and I'm going to give him this flower because if I ever, Curves, you notice, I love politics. I love all that world, and that sometimes I write and do little things on like a medium or whatever. So that's what my energy goes to when I'm not working. But if I was ever to, because I love being a caller, If I was ever to really take it seriously with the way you all do, and I think what y'all do is wonderful, I probably would do like Emmanuel does it because he does his thing, and he's able to put his information. Because sometimes I get so frustrated when maybe I can't call into something because I'm not there when it's live, or I say, oh, I got to say this and I don't have an outlet. So then sometimes I think I should just make a video. And when I think about it, I think of Emmanuel, so I'll give him that because I like the way he done it. He's able to.
He is the master of a review and a captivating, engaging, informative review in 10 minutes or under is his thing.
Well,
Great.
I like the fact that also you can stay kind of private if you want to. Like, it's so funny. I'll say this here. I've met people from YouTube who actually lives in New York City. Over the time I've been here, I've actually met people. But sometimes you just don't want to be doing all that, on the camera and stuff like that. So I like that. You can give your point of view and you can be like him. So I've watched this channel and I've enjoyed your what you've done over there, Emmanuel. I really have.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, definitely. He does his thing. So Palaver says that the board of anesthesiologists actually came to Tiffany's defense and published against 8.5. So maybe it's a different issue, but I'm thinking if 8.5 has somebody that could have made it hard for Tiffany because they did come to her defense and say what she was saying was true. I don't know, hey, I don't know. Oh, look, Manny, your voice is like, but you see that? And Manny is using his stopped up voice today too. Look at that. But
yeah.
So tomorrow we have Real Housewives of Atlanta. Are you guys looking forward to it? I'm hearing that whoever Angela is yelling at
I think it's Phaedra.
No, she was yelling at some guy, trying to put some guy out in the mid-season trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that guy and his partner have a podcast and a YouTube channel, and they were talking about how, they got 2 more episodes because of us. So I need to find out what the backstory is. I'm trying to find out. I just came across their TikTok last night and their YouTube channel, and they have like all of 15 followers right now, but they're going to be in the episode for the anniversary party for Angela and Charles. And when she was like, you're a horrible person, get out, and she's making that guy leave, that guy did a TikTok that's played the song Sutton Says. It says, hey, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Okay. Listen.
So I can't wait to see what happens and what this is about, because He is, I don't know why he was at the party, why they're fighting, but they were saying on their podcast that RHOA got at least 2 extra episodes because of their involvement in that
Well,
party.
you know what,
So
Curves?
yeah.
I remember the day after that event was filmed. So if I'm not mistaken, that will be the finale episode. And if I'm not mistaken, this guy is alleging he slept with Charles.
Oh, what? Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it's something. It's
And I
something,
think
something.
Phaedra is involved in some of this somehow.
Uh-oh.
I wouldn't be surprised. More lies and confusion. If it has to do with lies and confusion, Miss Parks is involved allegedly.
Oh my gosh. But so you know what, Angela. So Angela, okay. And now I'm going to take Amanda's word. I'm going to say this might be a little controversial because I'm not feeling Miss Angela because I don't. I think I love the season, but I'm still warming up to Angela. When I think about all the issues, not all the issues, but some of the issues that Britt has had, because I will say this publicly, Britt is a sweetheart. Like I talked to her, not in detail, but I've just said, I think you're doing, I like you on the show. She's just been very
She's
nice.
very sweet. Her whole
She's
energy is sweet. I don't know what.
very
That's on my
sweet.
list.
Mel,
Very
you're in good company because I think we might be the only 3 people in America that like her.
Yeah. So,
Brit still villain. Why still under attack?
right.
Ken
So
made her bed. That's my
okay.
note.
So then when it comes to, I agree with you. So when it comes to Angela, okay, Angela. So this is what I think. This is the way I feel when I'm watching the show. Angela knew at the dinner, and she talked to Brett, who was this new girl she's dealing with, and she knew about the issues and the complexities of her feeling with Kenny or whatever. She knew it. She made up that very shady question and got everything popped off at the table. Things went crazy. People said things, and now all the stuff. Now we got people going to their salons doing all. So okay, we got this happening. All of it happens. Filming stops. We come back from this incident. We had this beautiful picnic or brunch or whatever outside, and Brittany's sitting there. She want to talk about, how she's dealing with the aftermath. And now Angela's like, "Well, what do you mean? What's going on? What's going?" I'm like, "Girl, wait a minute. You done gave me this damn nasty ass question. You got things popped off. I didn't want to do that kind of stuff. Now you have. So I don't know." And then also bring in what's her name, Drew, to Portia's thing, and she's not loud. Angela's not loud, but I don't know. She's a little sneaky for me. And when it comes to Britt, she's not. The thing is too, Britt is not a saint. She's not a saint. She's not perfect, but she's no Mia. I mean, she's not talking about people having gay husbands and
Right.
children out of wedlock and
Yeah.
and stunts and shows. And we've seen people get really crazy. I mean, she's not even Bethany. Bethany told people they were drunk. They were on white powder, and
Mhm.
come on. So where the woman, excuse me, she has to be on the show and she has to play with y'all. And I do like in the trailer that we see her beautiful tatas out there just doing her thing. She got them on the table. I'm like, go ahead, girl, do you and have fun because because Miss King is gone, and for now, just have fun while you're there. So I'm hoping that she has fun. It doesn't seem like it's going to be any major, hopefully going up. But yeah, I like Britt. I when I tweeted or whatever, the woman is very sweet, and yeah, so that's just what it is. But I think that Angela, I'm looking at you a little hard, Miss Angela, because I don't know. You quiet, but you definitely, yeah. Come on with the glass. Yeah, you quiet, but I'm not going to trust you yet because you little sneaky.
Yeah.
But I don't know your marriage. I don't know. Hell, Wendy Williams only got more information about you than we do as viewers. Like what we talking about? Like what we doing?
Mhm.
What are we really saying, Angela?
Yep.
Like,
How
And
you
I'll
doing?
continue on your guys' thread. I appreciate Brit. I don't know why she's getting a villain at it. And even Ken's been saying things like, "Oh, she came in and wanted to be the new villain." No, bitch, you're still a villain. You're still a villain, Ken. So that's a false narrative that she's a villain and is a mean girl and all. I have not seen that from her. And if that is the experience, I'll have to wait to see what was left on the editing room floor because at this point, she's showing up. She's eating a lot of crow and having to be very humble considering the fact that all these ladies have seen how she gives a BJ. and she's still
Yeah.
able to come and have a good time and be in her body and be comfortable in her body in front of these ladies. And I'm on your team with this, Mel, about Angela coming in on Brit specifically, like, and we don't even know you, lady. Like, we don't know nothing about you either. And I was really questioning, how long has Angela known Ken that Drew is like, oh, well, we were just missing our friend is the reason we're being asshole to you.
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
didn't you just meet Ken the day she did the felony the way that Britt did? Like, you've only known her for 3 or 4 weeks. So how did all this allegiance come for a lady who may have done a felony? I'm just like, you were missing your friend, really? But you don't think this friend will do that to you too? But you don't.
Yeah.
So that's my thing on there. But Angela, I do appreciate her slow burn,
Yeah.
but I do not appreciate her constant, and we're going to see it in this next episode, about the lady just said she was going to fuck your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to tell Britt about miles on her mouth?
Come on now. Like, listen.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
Really? How is that making sense? So she really doesn't want the smoke, that tells me.
So Curbs, and I want to hear what Emmanuel got to say too. What I feel from that, sometimes this will go across all platform, all franchises. You gotta know this. Sometimes there's a person on the show who's a clout chaser. So the simple fact is, if you think that on your show, this is the issue I think I've had with the woman on Potomac when Candace was there when she had that initial explosion. They felt that Candace was totally easy put into the trash can. You know, you're not popular. You've been labeled disaster on Twitter, so we can treat you however we want to treat you. Now over here in Atlanta, you know what? You've been exposed. You've been labeled as stuff. You know that the viewers love Kenya. At least some of them do. And you know what? It might not be very smart to hitch our wagon to you. So we're gonna give you a hard time. We're going to be aggressive towards you. We're going to do these things because we feel that the audience will be against us if we don't. And I
Right.
think that sometimes that's being a coward. Don't be a coward. Don't be a cloud chaser. If the woman is treating you the way that Portia has treated you, then you can be how you want to be. But if she's not giving you Mia, or she's not trying to be messing with your family or whatever, she's saying little things in her confessionals. Okay, you all do. So that's where I'm thinking. I'm open minded. If Mia is excuse me, if Britt is giving nasty energy, then
Yeah.
give it right back. But until she does, I can't be on nobody's side with the hazing thing. I just can't.
Me neither. And especially from a liar like Drew and somebody whose wig
Please,
literally peels still,
come on
like
now.
Angela. Like, you have things to worry about. That's not me, Angela.
And you know
Mm-hmm.
what, Michelle ATL, she made me laugh a lot. She was like, "Well, if y'all really love Kenya, well, I think that maybe the viewer somebody said, if you really love Kenya, Angela, why don't you go to her salon and get your wig glue fixed? You know, get that thing fixed on your head so you won't be melting all the time." So, listen, you don't love her like you say you do because you're not supporting her business. To be honest with you.
Right. They don't love her like they say. They're going to let her daughter never go to college again.
Oh.
She never going to college. Did I let you in, Emmanuel? I think I did. Did I press the right thing? Oh, there it is. There's a toggle switch on here. Here I
Oh,
go.
thank you.
Yeah.
There, I did it right. There we go.
He was. I think he went
I think
drop
it's
down
going to
again.
pop over. Is
Yeah.
it coming? There it goes. Wait, it went back? Wait, did
Mhm.
I press it twice? Oh, see, I got to have patience. Damn.
Oh, what happened?
Hello?
I
There you go.
it's very sensitive, and if I touch it twice, then it goes.
Oh.
So somebody in the comments, thanks for being here, Satra. Who just said this? Q27 says, "Hi, I have a question. Can you look at the Sweet Tea interview with Caramel Rel? Because I want to hear your opinion on it." Let's see. So I did actually watch that interview. And just like with any sweet and sour interview, I have to put it on like 1.5 times because she talks so slow and I want to hurry up and get through it. So
Okay, it's okay because I know you work, girl. I work too, so I get it. All right.
Yes. All right. So we have our people in the chat. We have 86 watching right now. We're going to go ahead and jump on in, okay? All right. So while we're here, again, welcome to the panel. I'm Karen Mariel. You know who I am. We talked before and you interviewed with me. This is your second time. So let's jump in. Let's get into some questions. And we're going to also have people in the chat put in a few questions in. And we're going to. So this first part is stuff we've heard. I'm going to fast forward to you and Dr. G that we probably wouldn't know. Something probably. That we were like, oh my God, really? I'm trying to think. Well, I think you guys know that we're both twins. That's cool. You know, and so and especially taking all the damn vitamins, and everybody's saying, "Oh, drink this tea, and take this vitamin, and take this," and it's like I done did so many old remedies and old wives' tales people told me to do, but now I feel like we are finally in a place where we can really slow down, and so I'm supposed to be starting the IVF, I believe by next month. Okay. Yeah. Well, good luck to you guys on that. Let me ask you this: if the IVF situation does not work, is there an alternative to maybe surrogacy? Have you thought about that, or do you carry yourself? I prefer to carry myself because, like, honestly, I know a lot of people ask me about the surrogacy thing, but I haven't really given myself a chance to actually carry a baby. And so I think that I can do it. I think that it'll be fine now that, things are slowing down. I think that things are going to be a lot better for me to get pregnant, and we're going to have a lot more time. So people have asked me if my sister would be. So she said now that things are slowing down and she'll think she'll have more time. And this interview is from 9 days ago. And they're supposed to, my hair gets so hot, I'm about to trigger a heat flash. They're going to start filming this May, from what I hear from Dr. Heavenly. And so do you think she's coming back, Emmanuel? You talked to her. Is she coming back?
I don't know. I might have to give her a call because she gave me her number the other day and said I could call her. So I'll probably do that. I don't know, but I mean, remember that last episode where she and Dr. G walked out of that healthcare fair thing and it kind of seemed like they were quitting the show?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be a bad idea for them to leave. Not because I don't like her. Obviously, I love her. But because they want to have a baby.
Right.
Yeah. But then again, like, I don't want it to feel like they're winning because she had to hold her own at that reunion. It was everybody coming at her. Heavenly, Quad, even Toya. So.
Well, that's what they do at reunions. I mean, she just got the reunion treatment. Everybody saves it for the reunion and comes at you. She didn't get it any worse or any better, I don't think, at a reunion. Not necessarily, especially for a noob that goes around talking as much trash as she does.
Yeah. So what I think too, I just caught that. I didn't get. I was like, wait, what? No, you know what? So everything around Dr. G, unfortunately, because Quad again, and again, I love Curves. Heavily. So the issue I have with Heavily, I don't really want to go into detail again because I love you. But one of my issues.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, we all have our POVs. It's
okay.
great.
So one of my issues with Heavenly is that she becomes more known as a viewer. She does this thing where she goes, well, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to, and I'm
apologize. Say this and take it right back.
So that thing for me, it grinds on my nerves. And then also as a viewer, when it comes to the storylines, we had the same kind of storylines where, in my opinion, that the doctor and of course Heavenly, two doctors in Heavenly, Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, and Dr. Heavenly, they are almost protected in a way where we, Quad is going to be in a hot seat next year, of course. Sweet Tea was in a hot seat this year. My girl, who I actually adore, even when her message of Toya, was in the hot seat for a couple of years. So it's usually the wives who are really in the hot seat when it's really putting themselves on the line. And you have the doctor and the dentist who are really directing the flow of the rumors and the conversation, stuff like that. They do get a little jabs in every now and then about their marriages, but they're not really in the hot seat as the wives. The wives, in my opinion, are the reason I watch the show because they are always putting it all on the line, whether they're trying to get married or excuse me, they're trying to get pregnant or get different homes or whatever. They always very vulnerable. When it comes to the other ladies who are, the professional ladies, the doctor and Dr. Heavenly, whatever, they just, they go on the trips and they do things and they get into explosions or whatever, but it's usually the wives who I'm really connected with as a viewer. So when I feel like the wives are under attack all the time and I don't hate Heavenly, it becomes like, okay, I'd rather see Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Simone, and Dr. Jackie really put it on the line emotionally about their relationships. I don't want to hear whispers about Dr. Jackie's husbands. I want to know more about Dr. Simone and Tammy. I want to know more about Dr. Heavily and what's really going on in her marriage and her children, or so they're things, but they're not really putting on the line for me. And it's become like, okay, Dr. Heavily, everybody, it's really easy for me to go, girl, guess what I heard? I heard this. Well, I didn't say it, and I meant this, and you're a bitch, and you're okay. I'm tired of that. I don't want to do that no more. But I would agree with you, Curves, about this. Even though I feel conflicted with the doctor and the dentist and two doctors, I personally think that Dr. G is extremely controversial because of his history with Quad. I did not like Quad for a long time. Just don't like her as a character. I like all these women as women, but as characters, I have some I like and some I don't. So when it comes to Quad, I feel, just my opinion, Quad never loved Dr. G. She got married to him for a lifestyle, and as Mariah said, once that lifestyle was what it was, it was over. It was not, and I think that what Dr. G did was he was not being a real man, because when he found out that the woman he married didn't really love him, he should have never ever touched her in a physical way ever, and that was where he lost me. So I didn't understand why Bravo or the cast would, with that controversy, allow him to come back and to try to minimize. We can never forget that. So that was the thing. I think Sweet Tea is a sweet lady. And so I just hope that they just go somewhere and do what they want to do, because their relationship is very controversial for me. It's too controversial. And even though I don't like Quad, I think she does messy things on the show. Ever since Lisa Nicole, she's not been my favorite. Mariah and all that, I just don't like her. But when her marriage issues with the physicality, I'm on her side with that. I think that he just crossed the line, and it's just, he's controversial. I don't want him there. But that being said, I have to go. Even though I'm so sad that I had to go because I have to do something. But listen, I'm looking forward to another live stream, Miss Curves and Emmanuel. Keep up the good work. Have a good weekend, both of y'all. And I'm going to talk to you guys. I'll see y'all soon online somewhere.
I appreciate you, Mel. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks, Mel. It was a
All
good
right. Have a
chat.
good weekend.
Talk to you later.
I love what Mel said. And like I said, all the POVs are welcome here. I am a Heavenly's angel, but hey, I know that not everybody is her cup of tea, just like Giselle ain't everybody's cup of tea. So, but what did I hear him say? Dr. G, I feel like I agree. It's not a good look for Bravo to be co-signing on an abuser. And I'm just like, that's not a good look. He's not changed. He's exactly the same. For him to be treating and talking to his new wife the way that he does makes me feel like he is not changed, and therefore should not be promoted on such a wonderful platform. And by proxy, that puts Sweet and Sour, Sweet Tea, in with him, because now you're his newest victim. And if we have to see you, we have to see him. And we don't want to see him. We don't want to see him. And weren't they supposed to? It's so weird to me, because aren't doctors like literally supposed to report abusers? And all of these people who are doctors are like, oh, let's invite G. And he's like, I only dragged her across the floor because I'm like, that's not a good look. It's so weird. But what he was saying about the women versus the doctors, in a way, and how they're shot in the perspective of their lives. Of course, the wives are going to only have their family life to show. That's all they have. Whereas the doctors, to me, have their doctor life to show, their family life to show, but everything, I feel, is edited around the brand of them being doctors, and they're not going to do anything to harm that brand. So I also know personally from Dr. Heavenly that she shoots many hours of footage with her family over the last 10 years, hours of footage. And Jennifer Tilly told us in Beverly Hills, the party was 7 hours. We got 4 minutes. And there was a lot of other stuff that she would have even thought that we should see, because as a participant, she knows that that event was way funner than the event they showed. but
Mm-hmm.
she has no idea why they show what they show. We don't even know why they show what they show, but we do have confirmation from multiple franchises and participants of reality TV that a lot gets left on the editing room floor. People say Kenya is an angel in real life, must get left on the editing room floor. People say Giselle is wonderful in real life and so nice, must get left on the editing room floor. Dr. Heavenly tells me she shoots hours of stuff with her husband and children and at her office, even being a dentist, like working in her office or doing stuff at Dr. Heavenly University, hours of footage that we never see. But then they show us Dr. Heavenly telling somebody, your mama, you see what I'm saying? Because it's an edit. So, and I'm not going to blame it all on the edit because she did say your mama, but she also had a 5-hour barbecue with their family and their friends that never made it to the show. So maybe we as viewers might want to start making it known what we might want to see more instead of just this program. Because he is right. It's a disservice in a way because it does appear that these wives are doing oh so much and showing oh so much. And these doctors are just like, but that's really not what it is. It's literally the edit. Literally. They all get shot for hours and then we end up with snippets. Now, what else did he say? I think that was all he said. Oh, but Sweet and Sour, I think that she should get off the show, have her baby. Especially now that somebody had mentioned that Monique had her miscarriage on the show. That's true. You don't even want to chance that. So, and maybe he'll get help. Maybe Dr. G will get help, but I know they need the money. I really think Dr. G and Sweet Tea need the money. And because she likes access to the money and he works at a hospital, his practice, I think that he got 3 jobs or something. He working hard for the money, you guys, and for his little tiny house. He working hard for the money. And she works for the government. And the person in the chat said that she said in this interview with Caramel Rell that Quad can't have a baby unless if she's working for the government.
I don't know if I can do it because I don't know if I can do it. Yeah, she got a baby. Yes, she got a little girl. And when there's something if she got pregnant and had twins.
Oh my God. That was 150.
That would be crazy. Like that would be a crazy story. But my sister, she ain't trying to do all that. I mean, she would if she had to. She would care for me, but she's getting ready to move to South Africa. And so, I'm like, okay, well, she military too. She was military. She was Air Force as well.
Do you know around when she says it, Q27? Because this is the hour and I can't. Here it is.
Out there and kind of stirring up, which drama is, of course, needed on a reality show. Do you feel like she's kind of doing a little too much to get Quad and King? Do you think that Quad and King should be on Married to Medicine? Being that Quad is no longer married to medicine. That was something that she used to be married to Dr. G. Do you feel that Quad and King should be on Married to Medicine? Because I feel like this season it became a mess. I feel like it's more so a competition a little bit in terms of her trying to get attention, maybe, and kind of throwing things out there and kind of stirring up, which drama is, of course, needed on a reality show. Do you feel like she's kind of doing a little too much in that regard? How you feel about it? Let me know. Definitely, yes. I think that she's doing a lot much in that regard. I think that with that whole situation, like they have nothing to do with medicine. They don't do anything in medicine. I work in public health, so it's just like I didn't really understand like why were the men so welcoming to this guy when he had nothing to do with medicine. Nobody even knew him.
Because her husband's an abuser. Because her husband's an abuser, allegedly.
So it was a thank God after what we found out with that darn Rolls Royce. Yeah, but I mean, I guess eventually they cleared him because he showed up at the reunion. So I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. But honestly, if you look at it, if you want to see the Prince and the Frog, then okay, so to see the Prince and the Frog or the Prince of Thieves, because I'm like, I don't understand. It is. No, I mean it is, but it's the truth because it's like it's the truth. I mean, and even at the reunion, like I like Toya was all like, "You lying and this and that, and you have no proof." The proof is already out there, and I knew the proof is gonna be out there. Like the proof, like it's like I don't have to lie about anything. And I was like, I got a top secret clear. What the hell I got to lie about? Why? What? I mean, what do I gain? Like I don't have to lie about anything. Everything that I say is the truth. And I just think that they were touching.
So what she's talking about is that Quad's man King turoed somebody put their car through King to have it leased. The problem was the person that put their car to his place to have it leased was leasing the car. And if you're leasing a vehicle, most contracts say that you're not allowed to sublet the car for anybody else to use for a rental. So they turn it over to him, trying to get around that so they could pay for their note or whatever, because they wasn't using the car all the time. He puts it on his luxury rentals concierge service site, and as a go-between for the two, the car rents out. The people that rented the car turn in, report the car stolen. The people that rented the car reported the car stolen. The leasing agency contacts the person that leased it, and they were like, yeah, our car was reported stolen. And they were like, oh, well, we let the luxury service place lease it out. And they were like, well, okay, you weren't supposed to do that, but now we need his number. So then they go over to King, and they were like, you had possession of the car that got stolen. You're on the hook for the car. The car was like $157,000 or something. The place, the original leaseholder, the original leaseholder for the car, sued the person that leased it, King, the people that rented it, and I think one other place. For some reason, I'm thinking it was four. There are at least three people all got sued for $157,000 each. Not together. It's not, let's split this shit 3 or 4 ways or whatever it was. It's each. So they're going to pay for this car like 3 times over by the time all this shit is done, because of the illegality of him subletting his leased car. And so King got on the hook as the business owner. He's not doing any fucking jail time. It's a pass-through judgment from what I understand. But he's not going to jail. The car wasn't stolen. And then people were trying to make it that the car that got stolen was the car that King gifted Quad, which doesn't make any sense. That did not happen. That's why she still has the Rolls Royce to this day, because it's not the same car, because there's a thing called a VIN number on a car. Yeah. And it wasn't that car. So, but since he dealt in Rolls Royces, of course, a person like Sweet Tea is going to be like, oh, it was your car. And I totally feel like Fraudra Parks has a lot of her tentacles into this thing, because, yeah, that's some shit that she would do. It seems like a lot of people that end up on Fraudra's wrong side end up with some bullshit coming out about them later. Some false narratives being... Yeah, Milo, you want to go out? I'll let you out. So that's what I believe she's referring to, and what Sweet and Sour was referring to at the thing. And I'm calling her Sweet and Sour again because it sounds like she's still sour.
Trying to like cover up their fakeness, and it's like everybody saw through the bullshit at the reunion. Yeah, I saw it too. Now let's speak on this issue about this damn police report. All right, police report that was filed by Dr. G. Can y'all speak on that now? Yeah. Okay, so yes, there never was a police report filed, for one. Okay, he did consult after that whole situation. He definitely did consult with the police, but he never did file anything. He contemplated on it, but he never did file, and that was made very clear to the production. And so all this other stuff, like Gregory, he don't even really talk to the production like that because he's not a full cast member. So like, all this stuff come out, Gregory asked for extra security. He ain't talk to them people. He ain't talk to only people that the production was in contact with me. It was just me. They weren't even in contact with them because he's not a full cast member. He don't have a pool to do that. Okay. So but he never did. So it's just like they just kind of dragged that out longer than what it should be, and then like they separated us because for one, I mean that whole situation was just crazy because I'm like, I had just talked to the dude right before we got on the beach and said, hey, we don't have a dog in this fight. We're not going to get involved in the mess. And Gregory, all he did was defend himself and defend me in that night when she was mouthing off. And so it was just like,
The mere fact, I'm telling you, this is Stockholm. She said that another woman speaking her truth in public, in generally speaking, now it did have everything to do with Dr. G. She was speaking from her purview of an experience that she lived and survived through. And this woman right here just called it mouthing off. Doesn't that sound like abuser talk to me? It does. It totally sounds like abuser talk. How is a woman, a Black woman specifically, sharing her lived survival story and testimony, mouthing off and somehow offensive to the next person? I'm going to let you guys keep listening to this. This is crazy. Let's see. But you guys are just going to hear audio. My son is.
Wait, curves.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Okay, babe.
But this was a good conversation. Thank you for having me, and I'll talk to you later.
I love you, Emmanuel. Thanks for coming up.
I love you back.
Peace. So let's see if I can find in here where she's talking about.
Now all of a sudden I see you running towards my husband. All of a sudden you try to throw shade because I'm living in the house with my husband that he shared at one point with Quad. Like you throwing shade, but you living in a rental home. Like you been, you've been living in rental homes. Like you living in other people's homes. So like you never seen that she's in a new home. Like seriously, every season. Yeah. So my God. You know, it was just a bunch of ignorance that I was dealing with. Like
I don't know.
Just stupid insults and just ignorant people just around me. I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and get my check because I had did some Reiki and this lady was telling me like try to be calm in your demeanor because she was like in order for you to get pregnant and stuff like that, she was like you gotta just chill. She was like start acting like a mother, pretend like you're already in that position to be a mother. And so during that time I was you know what, let me get into that. Let me channel that, and so I'll just calm down because then I want to go all BS. I'm a mother, but I would snap on someone as well. As a mother, you do, you really do. All right, you really do. Sometimes you gotta check somebody. You're like, okay, I'm a mother, but I'm right. People will try you when they feel like you're trying to be on the calm down and not go there. And I've been seeing it a lot this season. Now let's get into another rumor. Is it true that Mariah Hook is coming back next season? Or can you speak on that? I can't speak on that. Like I haven't heard anything yet. I actually did text her, but she didn't bring none of that up to me. So I was like, okay. The rumor that she's gonna be making some appearances for next season because you guys get ready to start filming again in May. In May, right? That's what I heard. May. Mm-hmm. I would hope so. I would hope that she would come back and kind of like. Mariah good? You said what? You and Mariah good? Yeah, we're good. Mm-hmm. I think it would be nice for her to reset everything because I just feel like the show has kind of gone off track, to what because I've talked to her and I think that it's gone off track for what she envisioned it to be a while back ago. And so I think that the show is focused a lot more on just drama. It's not even like family fun anymore. It's just, it's just ratchet. Well, she is the only one that can get heavily together. I tell you that. So if she does come back, it's definitely some changes in that area, baby. Because I will never forget the episode where she told him, I can tell you who Damon been with. I was like, yes, honey. Yeah, she is really funny. She's really funny to be on. I like Mariah.
You guys, I don't even know if I can finish listening to her. She sounds so crazy to me. I watched the whole thing, but like I said, it was on hyper speed because I can't stand listening to her lies, and she talks very slow. I would have to come back and do this at another time because I'm kind of feeling like she's full of BS. And I'll try to find that exact place where she says that, and then we can come back and comment on that. I appreciate the inquiry, though, Q27, and I hope you come back and visit with us. And no, Oliver, I don't think she's all there. I don't think she's all there. And I'm not all here either because I'm about to go, y'all. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. On your way out, go ahead and ring my bell. Ring my bell. Okay? And all of that stuff. Let's see. Can we take this off? Is it going to play? Larger curves. Larger curves. Larger curves. I said take that off. Oh, well, you guys, I will see you in the next video. Is it ending? I think I'm frozen.